Welcome, everyone. This is Blanket Term Presents D&D. We're Blanket Term. My name's Alan. I'm joined by the other people of Blanket Term. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's start in the middle.
Well, that's the way we go in our podcast. So I was like, oh shit, gotta finish this drink. Sorry.
I'm sorry, we should have planned this out better.
Albert, go.
Alright. Hi, I'm Albert. I'll be playing Malmira. I am a Trickery Domain Cleric.
I'm Brandon. I'll be playing Frog. Oh, that's strong. Who is a Mastermind Rogue.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I'm going to be playing Snapdragon or Snaps, who is a halfling cross-class rogue and fighter, primarily fighter.
Yeah, and I am Alan. I am your humble GM, and this is a homebrew world that we made together. And it's gonna be a West Style Marches campaign. Gonna be all rotating GMs, but I was chosen first. If you want to influence what missions we pick, check out our Twitter. We're gonna be doing polls, and every mission and arc is gonna be GM'd by a different person, and you guys all get to vote on which one we do next. So after I complete my arc, definitely check that out, and maybe you'll be able to pick one of these three missions next, so I don't have to be up here all palm sweaty and like thinking about spaghetti, you know? Anyways, let's hop into it. So this setting was made using the Quiet Year. We aged it up. It's super great. So for over a century and a half, our ancestors landed upon these untrodden lands aboard the arcane ships through a rift that opened, connecting our home plane with this new one. Our forebears sought fame, fortune, and knowledge on these new lands. They were scholars, warriors, mages, and the most foolhardy and brilliant minds of their generation. They named this world Ishurla and sought to make it their home. The first of these settlements was Cardinal, the largest of the cities, which now houses the unified Ishurla government. We have Mezcal, the oasis cities of the Eldestran Desert to the east. Silmecia, the fungal city of the great mycelium grove. Makarost, did I say that right? Makarost, the isolated city of the Everwild Forest Range, and lastly, Oadmesh, the mining city of the Hillcar Valley. For a time, they were prosperous, but it was only a short time, for within the first year, a calamity almost brought them to their knees. No one could have predicted that the wave of raw arcane energy would rip through all of Ishurla, closing off our only connection with the old plane. Though the pulse was only brief, it awoke all manner of creatures. Ancient primordials awoke and strode across this plane, fueled by the ambient arcane energies. Elemental dragons, golems of pure arcane crystals, wyverns the size of a Tarrasque the size of wyverns. Got crazy. It was a real bad time. It was a time of strife, but over the last 150 years, we forged our own way. The cities prospered, and the arcane awakenings of Ishurla happen occasionally. But a new opportunity came for those that were brave enough to stand up during these times, and the occupation of adventurer became something to be sought after. They continued to seek the knowledge, fame, and fortune that Ishurla has to offer. Unfortunately, decades of peace doesn't bode well for those adventurers, though they always need to be on standby. So the government set up an effort in order to maintain adventurers trained and controlled by the governing forces, and thus numerous adventuring academies, guilds, and various bodies were set up in an attempt to harness these foolhardy adventurers with sword and wand. The most recent of which is the Sherland Shared Response Force, or short term, the SRC. I mean, the Shared Response Commission, the SRC, which is like a standing army, but is more of a paramilitary organization set up and headed by Commissioner Ephrain Tassi. Right? Is that right? Yeah. Tasks. Yes. They've bit with varied response in the various city-states, but for now they are well on their way to outlasting any of their predecessors. For the last 5 years, the organization has been on the ups. Each of our three heroes here are adventurers that are contracted with the SRC for various reasons, whether it be to seek their fame, their fortune, acquire knowledge. Maybe it's just wanderlust. Maybe they're just bored. We don't know. We'll have to talk to them to find that out. But the three of you, Fern, Snaps, Frog, and Malmira, the three of you got a few days ago were selected by Commissioner Task herself to respond to a quest out of the city-state of Odmesh. The details were light during the initial briefing, but you three are used to the more covert nature of the missions you were given. Because of your select skills, you guys are often chosen to be on the more subtle missions. The initial brief was very light, mainly consisting of just reading the Tellerwrit that the SRC received themselves, and you guys were then told to get your affairs in order. So the Tellerwrit that was given to the SRC read as such. Ilthos Busher, investigation halted, stop. 2 agents go missing. Assumed dead, stop. Anonymous sponsor claims the murder investigation was dropped under suspicious circumstance, stop. Sponsor liaison Theodore Whitmore is seeking reputable third party to covertly continue investigation, stop. Applicants must be cool-headed, quick-witted, and willing to work outside the law, stop. Aside from that, the three of you were just told to come up with a legitimate reason to go to Odmesh under pretenses. You guys were given, they worked with you to get like, oh, you want a raffle to go to a spa day in Odmesh, or you're going to a conference, or they gave you a legitimate reason, and they told you guys that when you guys are told to go there, get a room in this hotel, and that is the Odmesh Highland Hotel. So that's how you guys will meet on the over there. But you guys are told to just get your affairs in order, be ready to go while they continue the back end. It's been a couple days. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yep. Hold on, I'm looking through my notes. I should have reviewed more.
Is this where we ask questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do I... So you say affairs in order. So we are...
What does that mean? Do I need to write a will?
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Oh.
Or is this an alibi kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely an alibi thing.
Okay, I know who to talk to.
Yeah, you just need to be a little bit more specific.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. Do you guys know a notary?
Oh, for a will?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't plan on dying.
I mean, neither do I, but I have to make sure that everything doesn't just go to my rat.
Yeah, haven't you heard? We're all immortal.
What?
Yeah, we're all immortal. It's fine.
Okay, well, normally I assume everyone's lying to me, but now I know you're lying to me. What the fuck?
I don't know what's going on.
I'd never lie to you.
I don't know this. Okay.
All right, sure. We never die.
You guys are dismissed from the office. I assume you guys are in the hallway of the SRC briefing room. Yeah.
I guess we're heading home now.
Yeah, I can head home. And yeah, the couple days pass. You guys all do your thing. Malmira, what pretenses are you going to Odmesh with? Like, what did you jump on the I want a raffle to a spa day, or did you jump on something else? Because they would have worked with you on this.
I kind of want to just turn up. I kind of just want to imagine he's just like, oh yeah, I'll just get to it later, and then like he just shows up there like early.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they told you to wait in town, and they did say that you're gonna need to meet someone on the ferry. So Brandon, what pretense are you going under? What pretense is Frog going under?
Frog won a darts championship night.
Nice.
Got a trip to Udmesh.
All right. And Snaps?
Snaps is heading over there to meet with another tutor, if you would, like another mentor for swordsmanship specifically.
Okay.
She's always undergoing training.
Nice. Yeah. There's probably like an ex-adventurer that's holding a workshop.
Yeah, so she's going out there to get some specialized training with her rapier, so
Cool.
she can get a little bit better.
Yeah, okay. After a couple, like 2 days after that initial brief, you guys get via message spell that says that you are to board the 3 p.m. Arrow Ferry from Odmesh to Cardinal, where you'll meet up with your team and your liaisons.
You mean vice versa? Cardinal to Odmesh?
Yes, Cardinal to Odmesh.
You said Odmesh to Cardinal.
Yeah, the other way
So
around.
we're going the other way.
Yeah, Cardinal to Odmesh, where you'll meet up with your team, the the ones you guys already met, and the liaison, Theodore Whitmore, who will have a neon green pseudo dragon. The call is Mighty Strong, and the response is Amber Sky for confirmation.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those type of missions.
Mm.
Yeah, so we'll drop in. Who wants to go first for the little tableau, the sitting thing? So we're actually going to get into the role play of it now.
Are we heading into Odmesh? Or are we
No,
leaving
this is you guys getting ready to go to
Okay.
the ferry to go to Odmesh.
Okay.
Yeah. So who wants to go first?
I think we should just go down the line as we've
Yeah.
been
Okay.
going.
All right,
So I'll go first.
Malmira, you find yourself in probably like a more like the steampunk version of a Motel 8 or Motel 6, whatever, whichever one is more applicable.
Motel 7.5.
Yeah, Motel 7.5. And you see like a weird arcane tech lighting fixture, and we zoom in. It's probably like morning-ish, and Malmira's packing up, getting some things ready. Yeah, go ahead and take over the scene and describe what else is there and your character. Give it a brief description.
Yeah, he doesn't have. He's a very transient prison, so he doesn't have very many things. So he has like a chest, like basically like on wheels and something like that, that like can hold most of his things. And he has like a quarterstaff, and he's in like pretty normal clothes. He has vaguely pale in complexion. He has like this really bright red hair. It's not like to his shoulders, but it's like very long and moppy. Mostly to cover a scar that's on his forehead and where his hairline is. So he just kind of packs up all his things and like, leaves his room and heads over to whatever lobby is here and gets his free continental breakfast.
Yes. So you get your continental breakfast and you start heading out. You still have a couple of hours to burn between now and then. You leave the keys with the front desk lady and you head on out. Next we hop on over to Snapdragon, who I believe lives in a not Snapdragon, Frog. I'm looking
There's
at the
two
two of you.
halflings,
yeah.
It's okay. We get mixed up a lot.
It's a good thing for me.
We see Frog, who lives in a very very middle class apartment complex. Yeah, we come in through the window. Very good part of Cardinal. Okay, upscale, gentrified a bit, but still has that spirit. Go on. You can go and take over now, Brandon.
So Frog like enters through the door, and like closes it and also locks it, because then she turns around and goes into the kitchen and kind of like scrounges around and opens a cupboard to reveal like a secret bottom, or like a false bottom, and pulls out like this adventuring pack with all of her things already ready to go.
The very CIA pistol passports.
Yeah, but instead of a pistol, it's like a bandolier of darts, and these aren't like your usual like bar darts, because if you're going to throw a knife, it does a lot of damage. So in like D&D terms, this would probably be a bigger dart. So have you ever heard of lawn darts?
No, I haven't.
I mean,
I don't think I'm wide enough to know what that is.
they are illegal because of the number of injuries. So these are the size of like darts that we were talking about.
Okay. I'm just imagining Shuriken from Naruto. So go move on.
Yeah.
More like kunai.
A kunai, that's what I meant. Yeah, kunai.
I mean, if they're gonna do a 1d4 of damage, the same as getting a knife chucked at your face.
Right.
Albert's looking up lawn darts.
I like that one of
There's
the
one of
pictures
the
on
dead
Google
guy.
Images is like just a guy laying on the ground surrounded by lawn darts.
So it's got the bandolier and then her traveler's cloak, which is very like dark colors. She pulls up like the hood and it's got like a red trim to add some little bits of colors, and she like pulls out a very particular like a mask, like a frog mask. And then she like stuffs it away and doesn't wear it immediately, but that it's kind of like, oh, that's why she's called Frog. Gets up and then pulls it all together and then unlocks the door, leaves, and probably leaves the keys with a friend in the city, and says,
Okay.
"Look
Yeah.
after my plants.
Yeah, it's like one of those like scenes in movies where it kind of like just kind of transiently has a city shot. Let's get this time to actually kind of like describe a little bit of Cardinal before we move on to Dawn real quick, since we did have that scene of you going to your neighbor, going to your friend. How did, because Cardinal is a very like arcane infused place. A lot of like arcane. I had mentioned the arcane neon sign. Like how advanced did we say this place was? It was like,
it's pretty advanced. We're looking at a society that's sitting about technologically in our terms at about the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
So there's a solid amount of technology, and it's all been like reverse pioneered.
Yeah, with like arcane influences, and yeah. So we see you moving through the city. Cardinal, you live in the north side of Cardinal, right? On the north side of the mountains.
Yeah, probably a nicer area.
Yeah. And
Not
I
like
imagine
too nice, but-
Malmira lives on the other side of the mountains, right? In the slum areas. Like the motel at the very least was in the slums. Yeah, so you probably had to take the arcane rails up north in order to get to the other part of the Cardinal. Yeah, and let's move on to Fern. Fern wakes up in her studio apartment. I imagine it's one of those anime scenes where she's sleeping in and she's startled awake by the message spell. You know what I mean?
Okay, it's time to head out, I guess.
Yeah.
So Snapdragon Fern is her last name.
I can't type in chat. I'm sorry, but yes, Quantum Jack, I can see you.
Senpai has noticed you.
That brings up a good point. If you get a message spell while you're like asleep, does the message like turn up in your dream?
I feel like the
think
way that
that's
it happens
dream
is it like pings you first. It's like a phone call.
Yeah.
So I feel like Snapdragon's like asleep. So we see like this lump on the bed and we hear some nice snoring. Oh, the echo's back. That's hopefully it fixes itself again. Let us know if it persists for another minute or two.
We don't know what it is. The only thing that this happens with is when the webcams decide it wants to pick up the sound.
Yeah, none of them are on. Like, I don't have anything unless it's getting picked up on the desktop audio somehow, which I don't think is possible. Yeah, none of these are being monitored. I don't know. Anyways, so we see kind of this snoring lump on the bed, and suddenly you hear inexplicably in your own head, even though you're watching this scene, as Snapdragon is receiving this call, she kind of startles like, okay, I guess it's time to go, and she like rolls out of her bed and like falls onto the floor. Like out of frame, and then you finally like see her like sit up and get up, and she has this mop of like mousy short brown hair, and it's like stuck up all over the place, and she kind of like messes it up to try to fix it a bit. And Snapdragon is also a halfling. She kind of like stands up and gets dressed. Like she wanders over to the wardrobe, and the camera kind of like pans behind something, and when it comes back out, she's fully dressed in like her leather armor and her adventuring gear. And she also has kind of like a little bit of a cape, although it's not like the same sort of like hooded cape. It's more, well, I guess it is kind of for like disguise and hiding. It has like a hood and everything. I guess it's less of a poncho.
Okay.
It is still definitely a hood. I'm just worried that our halflings that look too similar.
That's not a bad thing for me.
That's not a bad thing for you.
You know what? You could just make it like a hoodie. Like, there's a difference between like a weird leather, like awesome leather trench coat and a hoodie. Like, if you make.
Oh yeah. I feel like Frog has like this nice kitted out one versus like Snaps is kind of like a secondhand one that she picked up at a store because she thought it was neat.
Yeah.
Are clearly hand embroidered stars all over it. It's like a faded purple color, and it has like hand embroidered like faded yellow stars all over it. And she picks up a hat that looks suspiciously like a wizard's hat and puts it on, and straps her sword and shield to her back. Grabs her adventuring pack and is like, all right, ready to go. And she walks out of the door of her little studio apartment, and the camera waits a beat, and she comes back in and realizes that she forgot literally everything else, and now it's a montage of her actually packing things into her bag and running out to catch the ferry on time.
Really?
Yeah.
burst through the door. Passport, wallet, keys.
Yeah, more or less.
Unplugging everything from the wall.
Yeah. Making
Checking
sure
the thermostat.
little arcane TV's unplugged. For some reason, I imagine Fern living like Cardinal probably has like a college of some sort. I imagine her living like on the outskirts of that. I don't know why.
Yeah, she definitely lives in like the collegey area. She's pretty young. She's probably, I mean, like even for a halfling, 25 is pretty young.
Yeah.
Still, but she's like, whoops, on the tail end of like her college time. She looks like she's still living in a dorm.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Gandhi's everybody gangsta till they attack the wizard at melee and turns out to be a fighter.
I'm a wizard.
Exactly. So yeah, all three of you make your way towards the Arrow Ferry platform. The Arrow Ferry is essentially just a zeppelin, but it's powered by arcane power instead of like helium.
With the hood on.
You're already wearing a hat, dipshit. A wizard.
Yours is kind of pointed. It looks like a.
It looks dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, so the three of you make it to the Arrow Ferry platform. It's just imagine like a train station, but like it's kind of like in a like a 2-story building. Yeah. So you guys get to the Arrow Ferry. Not much happens unless you guys want to ask more specific questions. Yeah.
No, I think we're ready to get to Udmesh.
All right. So the three of you see each other on the platforms, and the ferry comes, and you guys all get in. The Arrow Ferry itself, I just imagined it being more along the lines of like a blimp, but like rather than it being like on the bottom, it's more of like all its underside with like various levels. It's my own headcanon of how this thing's designed, because a regular blimp's boring, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah, regular blimp is boring.
Yeah, Arrow Ferry is, there's actually 2 lines. One goes to Odmesh and the other one goes to Silmesia. And they kind of run this like weird triangle, but it takes a while. The trip from Cardinal to Odmesh is about like 8 hours on a good day when the wind's with you, but on average is about like 10 hours. And if the wind's against you or if there's a storm, you can expect it to take about like 12. But the estimates on today is going to be it's going to be an average one, so it'll be about 10 hours to get there. Yeah, so the three of you get on, and Fern, or Snaps. I'm sorry, I keep on.
You're fine. Originally, for transparency's sake, my character was Fern Snapdragon, and then I realized that we would have Fern and Frog, 2
Both.
halflings similarly named.
And also kind of roguish.
So I reversed the names at like 2 hours ago.
Oh, so it's Snaps Fern Dragon now?
No, it's Snapdragon. It's Snapdragon Fern. Fern's her last name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still like
Snaps Fern Dragon.
I like Snaps Fern Dragon a little bit
Snaps
better.
for dragon.
Hey, Dragon. No, her name is Snapdragon, and they call her Snaps. Oh man. Anyways.
Yeah. So we get into the platform. Snaps, you see a dark-skinned dwarf with really cool like Morpheus glasses, and he's wearing. Are
we entering Udmesh?
No, this is
Okay.
this is still on the ferry.
Okay.
He's wearing those really cool Morpheus glasses, and he's wearing this world's equivalent to a Hawaiian shirt, which is a fungal pattern shirt with the same like detailing. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's not Hawaiian flowers, it's fungus because of the cities.
Tommy Bahama.
Yeah, and he's wearing cargo pants. He's wearing Birkenstocks with the socks, and he has little like, and he has like a little like, little like fanny pack pouch. And he reaches in, he pulls out a little piece of bacon, and he gives it to his neon green pseudo dragon. Fern, you're the first person to see this.
Oh.
Yeah, because you have the highest passive perception. You walked on that boat and you saw him right away.
I can see these motherfuckers for days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I see a thing. And she kind of like points him out to the other 2, who we've presumably found since we're all on the same
Yeah.
ferry.
If you guys want, you guys can like take a step back and like role play. You guys saying hi to each other.
Hi. I guess
We don't really need to say hi. I feel like we just kind of like get together.
So,
Fern's still half asleep. Snapdragon's is still half asleep.
you with us? You awake?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't have any coffee.
There's some downstairs.
Oh, that'd be great. I feel like she's probably gone downstairs and that's where she sees the dude.
Yeah, you see him. He's sitting there and he's like, he like putting a bit of like little snacks inside of his thing. He's kind of like looking around. Actually, no, he's not looking around. His pseudo dragon's kind of like going. Yeah.
I know that you told us that we need notepads, but that was like half an hour ago and I never grabbed one.
We got paper over here.
So I also don't have the name, the call thing
It's
that we're talking about.
Mighty Strong.
Yeah.
And
Amber Sky.
Amber Sky. Yeah.
So wait, does that mean he does the call, or can we do the call?
I think he says
The first one.
Well, yeah,
Mighty
but
Strong.
if we know the call and response, can't I go up to him and tell him that his dragon looks mighty strong?
I think that would work too.
I guess.
I don't know if I'm supposed to approach him. We didn't receive instructions.
I
don't.
Well, we have to meet up with our liaison, and that's our liaison.
Yeah, that's our liaison. But like, how do we talk to him? I'm new.
You just you walk up and talk to him.
But what do we say?
I guess if we know both halves of it, I guess it doesn't matter if we do the first half.
I'll walk up, I guess.
All right.
You're the one who
want me
can
to?
talk to people.
Yeah.
All right.
So the ferries took off like 2 minutes ago, and people are just like unbuckling now that they've reached altitude. So you have a lot of people going about. We established that this is like the refreshment deck, I guess.
Is he sitting at like a table or something?
Yeah. It's one of those. He walks over to the little table. He has a muffin, some coffee, and some bacon bits.
I have
for his
one
pseudo
question.
dragon. Yeah.
Is he attractive?
He is attractive in the Jimmy Buffett way, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Not Frog's type.
He's more robust than anyone. He's middle-aged for sure.
Okay.
Bordering on like elderly. But he has that Jimmy Buffett aura about him. He's ready. He's here to party. Like,
I had to ask.
Yeah.
So he's not attractive.
Not Frog doesn't really find him attractive.
He's not attractive to like 80% of the people on Earth, but yeah.
All right. So I guess Frog will walk up and go, "Wow, your pseudo dragon's looking mighty strong."
Yes, indeed. Old little worm here would love nothing better to have a good old look at those amber skies. His pseudo dragon looks at you, but he keeps looking straight ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably just like also grabbing food. No need to like actually look at him. Just like
have a
talking to him.
seat. Have a seat.
Yeah.
And he gestures.
I assume the two of us have also kind of followed behind.
Yeah, you guys look like you guys are hanging out together. And he says, "I assume then. So you guys headed to Oadmesh for?"
I'm here because I won a darts tournament. So I'm kind of sightseeing.
And the two of you, the pseudo dragon's looking. His eyes are staying very forward. Don and Snaps and Malmira. Now that you guys had a chance to look, it's very obvious this guy's blind. He looks like he's using his pseudo dragon to see around. Yeah.
Cool. There's a master.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not great at talking to people. Your dragon's
fine.
really cute.
He's so neon. I'm told. Old worm doesn't really like looking at himself, but
I very cute. I'm sorry. I'm also you hear like a slight squeak as like a little rat head kind of like pokes its head out of her pocket. My rat's just a bit nervous. Sorry. I'm heading over there because there's a workshop with the Master Franklin. He's teaching magic.
Ah, yes. Master Franklin.
Yes.
For
magic, and she
That's
very
good.
surreptitiously kind of like touches her sword as she's like being like, "Yes, magic, not
Yes.
swordplay."
Yes. Well, I'm going to finish. It's lovely meeting you guys here, and I think that we can have a good trip together. Tell you what, and he slides the person close to us with a note, and he says, But I feel that I'm gonna have to go meet the alabaster dragon. There we go. I'm trying to think of like in words to say I'm gonna use the restroom, because you ever heard the phrase, "Oh, I need to go talk to a man about a white horse"? You ever heard that phrase?
Never heard that.
You never
I've
that
heard
phrase?
a man about a horse, but never a white horse.
Yeah, like that's a joke, right? So he's like, "Oh, you go talk to a man about an alabaster dragon." He says that, and he goes off. The note says, he says servants' quarters next to the engine, aft side, 30 minutes. Yeah, it looks like he has a special place he wants to meet you guys.
Alright.
Cool.
Guess he wants to meet us somewhere more private.
Oh, we have time though?
30 minutes?
Okay, great, because I really have to pee. And Bert needs to go pee because
You want coffee?
I kind of had some already.
I'm gonna get another cup.
Huh?
Just-
Malmira just kind of sits there at the booth, like smacks his lips a little bit, and just looks around. I'm like debating whether or not I just like derail the whole session and just hide somewhere.
What?
It's just like they've left me alone. Time to do something irresponsible.
Time to do something really stupid.
You just follow the guy.
Oh, hang on. Do I see him leave?
Yeah, he gets up and he kind of like wolfs down the rest of his half muffin, and then he kind of walks out.
Does the guy see himself leave?
Yeah, like, you know what? All right.
Oh no, I'm a little scared.
All right. Now, okay. Alan, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds like
You
got something in the barrel. What are you trying to
Carousing
do?
or
So,
You're gonna cast a spell, friend?
yeah, I'm gonna do a few things here.
oh,
Alright,
fuck.
does the spell happen to stab someone?
No, the
Okay.
spell is not stab.
Okay, minion almost got it then.
Okay, so I'm gonna invoke the Blessing of the Trickster, which I get for being a cleric. Oh, it's other than myself? That's annoying. Fine. I'll just follow him.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Fern's probably still gone.
Yeah, you went to the
Yeah,
restroom.
they left me alone. I'm doing something irresponsible
Yeah,
and
you
dumb.
probably come back, and I am now sitting by myself with my second cup of coffee, wondering where Malmira has gone.
Yeah, you come back to the table. Malmira's gone.
17.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Where,
17.
where'd Malmira go?
How far
I
is 120
don't
feet?
know.
Oh, that's pretty far, friend. That's
Is
like
it?
that's like the end of the house.
I just
Like
kind
that
of
way,
get
the
up
end of
to
the
go
hall.
get another cup.
How large is
You
this
handed me
airship?
your cup of coffee.
The airship is pretty long. It's probably about half a football field in length. Yeah, but it's pretty rectangular.
That's okay. So, while doing this, I'm gonna use my channel divinity to make a perfect illusion of myself, just kind of sitting at the table.
Oh, okay. So I guess you are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your?
But
what's
he
your-
did this afterwards.
Yeah, so we don't know he's
Yeah.
like, gone.
So
I
like,
like that.
you're probably leaving to get coffee, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and then he appears next to me. She's like, "Fuck, where'd you come from?"
And it's just sitting
Don't
there,
worry about it.
not looking.
No,
It's
he
all-
can like talk and
Oh,
everything.
can he?
Like it's
Oh.
a perfect illusion. Yeah. This is my channel divinity.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it would be like programmed, and it's gonna be like a weird hologram, and there's like gonna be a physical cup, and your character like pretends to pick it up, phases through it.
Yeah, I assume I can make it.
Like a very obvious, robotic, like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. But it's perfect. It's a perfect illusion, so it's fine.
But
With your 17, you start following him. He seems to just walk around, and it looks like he's just kind of like stopping, and he's kind of chatting with a few folks, making merriment and laughing and stuff.
Is he
Doesn't look
talking about anything in particular?
no, he's just sort of like commenting with people and like mentioning a few things, just about like, oh yeah, I'm here to go on an adventure. Oh, all the kids left the nest, so do I, you know. That sort of dealio. But he's making his way through, and he goes into an office, and it looks like a little like private quarters area. He closes the door after him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to like follow him in.
All right,
Like,
dope.
Yeah. Is there like a window of any kind?
Your mic is very far
Oh.
from you.
Is there like a window of any kind?
No.
No
It's,
windows?
Yeah, it's just one of those hallway things with the
Gotcha.
windows on the outside. Unless you want to go outside of the building, hang off the side.
No.
You want to hang off the balloon.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and climb on top of the tree.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Hold
I'm
my
good.
coffee.
I'll just go back. I'll leave the illusion there and just like walk up to the table.
Yeah. So you guys were we come back to you guys. What were you guys doing? For Snaps and Frog.
Drinking my coffee with my 2 friends.
And then Malmira comes back up, and we're both just like,
And then my friend has returned, but is also still sitting next to me.
They both go, "How's it going?"
I hate this.
What I like to imagine is that you don't make one disappear. You walk into each other, so you don't know which one was the real one.
I'm still standing up and he's at the table. We're just both talking at the same time.
and they're both talking.
If I
Like,
didn't
this
pour
is
this
real-
coffee myself.
This is really great. I feel like I'm the tallest one here. I feel real tall.
I
kinda
feel
nice.
Why is there 2 of you?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Can you? Okay.
That's a really interesting
We're
question.
trying to be covert.
Oh, I'm just trying to have fun.
Does anyone see this?
Yeah, there's a few people that are looking over. They just think he's probably twins or something. It's like
Or he's just being dumb.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, you know. It's not like anyone takes notice of it, because it's not like it's a real like fancy thing, or it's
Yeah.
not like explosive or anything.
It's like a magic trick, like some guy's
Yeah.
doing cards or something.
Yeah.
I go up to the corner. I'm just like, all right.
I can
You're in my
also do
seat.
magic.
And like the clone like literally just like slides under the table.
I can also do magic. Snaps whips out a deck of cards. And she does
card tricks.
and she does a rather impressive she like pulls it out. It's like, all right, pick a fucking card. All right, don't show me that card.
Shows it to her. all right, we'll do it again.
All right, fine. He reshuffles it. All right, fine. Here. All right, look, pick a card.
Looks
You
at
know
it.
what card it is?
Yeah.
Put it back in the deck. And she shuffles it very, very well. And then like pulls out one from the top of it. It's like, is this your card? And it is. It is your card.
Okay.
It's important because it is your card.
Oh yeah.
See? Magic.
That's pretty
And
good.
and she does like this, and like a small puff of glitter goes everywhere. Magic.
Oh, that's gonna be everywhere.
It almost got in my coffee.
It's fine. It's biodegradable.
Will it dissolve? Is it sugar?
Well, actually, it's this really cool blend that's made out of kelp. I know it sounds really weird, but I there's this really great place. It's called like Brush, and they make like all sorts of really cool. No, it's magic.
Okay. Magic. Is there anyone does like Udmesh have its own like accent?
Not really. I don't think our world is big enough to have regional accents. I definitely think that there might be, but I don't think that for the most part common has an accent. Like definitely different other languages, there might be tonal things, but I don't think that it's as varied as as like a southern accent, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to log into an account
No, that's
because
fine.
I need to open up a different document.
Oh,
because-
and you're just having trouble getting into it.
Yeah, just because there's some notes that I didn't transcribe from a different doc that I was working on.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll go use the restroom as well while we're waiting for our 30 minutes.
And there's not 30 minutes real time. You guys could just
I
fast
know.
forward.
No, we have to sit here for 12 hours as we wait to arrive at Udmesh.
Yeah.
Imagine a real-time D&D game.
No, that would be awful.
That'd be really cool, actually.
That would be awful.
It'd be really bad, but it'd be really cool.
Including
Yeah.
like the 12-hour random ferry where you're just like, all right, I've already gotten food. I've already went to the bathroom. What else is there to do on this ferry?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
See, that's
it's
why I
gonna
have
be like.
games.
It's gonna be like, all right, Malmira shits himself. Wait, what? You didn't use the restroom, Albert. You've been using the restroom this whole time. roll a DC 6 Constitution save. Come on, Mira.
to avoid shitting yourself.
Every hour it gets
Yeah.
higher.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Um,
Yeah, no, it's definitely just gonna be a matter of like waiting until we can meet the dude.
Yeah, okay. I actually do want to like have a couple of scenes of just describing the landscape as it goes by. So you guys are currently over the Hillcar Valley, which is a valley that kind of is to the south of Cardinal, like the south the south east of Cardinal. A lot of rolling hills, some sparse woodlands, but in the distance, as you guys travel, you can see a great forest that kind of spreads it's into the front of the ship. And then 30 minutes past, you guys head down to the below decks, through the workmen's quarters and past the kitchen, the kitchen area. There's this little where they would store all of this storeroom with all the cargo and various things. There's a couple of boatmen or ferryman quarters that are supposed to be for people who work on the ship, not for personnel or guests. And you guys make your way past all of those, and then you guys get a knock on the door, I guess, and he opens it. He has his glasses off, and you can see that it's one of those strange people that are blind not because of they were born with it. It looks like his eyes were damaged in some way. Yeah, so he got scar tissue over it. It looks very startling at first, but then he kind of smiles and he just got this air of hey, hello, welcome.
So he's not wearing his glasses?
Yeah, he's not wearing his glasses. Okay. He looks like he tucked them onto his little shirt. And he says, "Oh, come on in. Have a seat. And he has a makeshift little work table set up with crates for little chairs and stuff. Very, very impromptu. He says, "Yes, I have a seat. I've been looking forward to meeting the three of you. I was told much, but I wanted to see you guys first for myself. My name is Theodore Whitmore. And who do I have the pleasure of talking to?"
Hi, I'm Snapdragon Fern. Snaps. My friends call me Snaps. I can't snap, but it snaps.
Yes.
My rat's
Snaps.
Mina.
Mina. That would be interesting if it was the other way around. Just because Snaps is moving on, and you, young lady.
You can call me Frog.
All right.
Yes. That's a pleasure to do business with you.
Yeah. Okay. Just because some background stuff that you told me. That's why I rolled. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yes. Frog, I will be sure to remember that. Rather peculiar names you have, the three of you. And you, sir?
My name is Malmira. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Ah, yes. And he, as you guys sort of talk, he does put his hand out to shake each of your hands. Now's actually he's like, yes. Now, I'm trying to think. Wouldn't it be an appropriate time for having you guys to roll a history roll, just because you guys might have heard about him before.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this like a shared thing, or are we all doing this?
You can do it individually. I kind of would like to let you guys in on it, but it's just one of those things.
4.
I see. Wait, that's not what I want. I should just keep this open.
I rolled a 19.
Nice.
I have 0 history.
I also rolled a 19 at 0 history.
Oh, that was really loud.
Oh, we're not very smart.
You guys just don't know Theodore Whitmore himself. Mm-hmm. However, the fact that you did see, he's blind, he has a green pseudo dragon, and the sort of persona about him reminds you of someone who had the same last name but different, similar last name. His name was Morrow. But that was his call sign. He used to be an info broker and sort of like a fixer of sorts, and that used to float in and around Cardinal, but he for a while went dark. Yeah, so you think that might be the same person since you guys roll so well. Definitely older, before your time. He hasn't been active at all.
You said this man's a dwarf?
Yeah, he's a dark-skinned dwarf that's in his pseudo dragon's this weird neon green. Yeah, neon green, very distinct.
Snaps is looking at this tiny dragon with much interest because she likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, the pseudo dragon's kind of crawling around the table. He offers you all a seat at the crates, and he says, yes, I was told to give you this. Who perchance should take this? I wasn't told who would be the leader in this endeavor.
Take it.
All right. And he gives you a an envelope, and it's sealed with like a wax that has the emblem of the Oadmesh SRC department, which in the Oadmesh's symbols like it's a gear, as if a gear was the moon but like a crescent. That's kind of how it is, and it says SRC with in kind of engraved on there.
Should I open this now?
Yes. I was told it had instructions that the three of you would like to meet, and I am here to brief you on the details of the mission. I will wait for you three to...
I know this is a wax seal, but I kind of want to like tear it open from the short
Yeah,
side.
do it.
So you're gonna rip the letter in half?
No. Like
is it an envelope or is it like a letter?
It's an envelope. It's an envelope.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
I just like
It's open.
tear open the short side.
It's like nope. I lied. I'm sorry. That is the thing. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So you
like.
Yeah. So you
Snaps
pull...
kind of like looks at
No.
Frog.
What's weird is that like what's weird is that people in like Japan open things like that versus things in the U.S. where we open it horizontally.
Well, they also have their envelopes set up that way.
I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. But
yeah, the flap is on top.
I mean, the point
that's
is
the top.
there's a nice wax seal. I could just, pop the seal like it's supposed to, but I'm just...
He's intentionally being obnoxious, is what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you open it up. The instructions are very brief, but in essence, it just has like bullet points with sealed instructions, and it says maintain alibi as much as possible. Investigate leads given by TM to the best of your ability. Handler is Sergeant Hector Oathmaker.
Wait, TM?
Theodore Whitmore.
Oh.
You mean TW?
TW, yeah. I don't know why I put TM. TW, best of ability. Handler is Sergeant Hector Oathbreaker, second in command of SRC Oadmesh. We'll meet at Barrow Hotel 10 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah. Lethal force is authorized in Oadmesh. Priority level 0. If detained, avoid breaking cover until talking to state-appointed lawyer who will liaison with Oadmesh SRC. Use of excessive force must be documented and reported in post-op. Yeah. The priority level 0 thing's an Oadmesh specific thing. It's just essentially Oadmesh is more of a military city-state than anything than
As opposed to like Cardinal.
Yeah, as opposed to Cardinal. That's essentially just saying that you guys have essentially free reign of it, which is very strange. The SRC in Oadmesh has had rocky ground in the past, but in the last year or so, Oadmesh seems to have adopted SRC as sort of a government bipartisan special forces unit.
Interesting.
It's weird in Oadmesh. It's not like they're just seen as adventurers. They're seen as like a special response force. So, yeah.
It's an awful lot of words just to say do what you want.
Yeah, I haven't read it, so. The three of you good? Am I good to go on my end?
So we're investigating a murder?
Yes, indeed. I represent an old friend in the Oadmesh military, and the Oadmesh homicide division, who I owe a lot of favors to. Let's just say, yes, the officer in question is anonymous, but she told me to tell you everything, and she said that she's willing to meet with you if it needs a ride. So I can arrange a meeting if you guys need it for more information. But she briefed me on most of it. Her name's Lorraine Hobson. She's from the Oadmesh Police Division of the military that specializes in investigating homicides. The lead investigator, and she was also the lead investigator on the Ilthos butcherer case. I don't assume that you guys know much about the Ilthos butcher out in Cardinal. Yeah, they seem to have been kept under wraps, and the investigation under wraps for the most part, even in Oadmesh, keeping a lot of details. It's in hopes that it didn't, spread and cause panic among the greater public. But basically, the Ilthos butcher is tied to 13 confirmed deaths that are rather gruesome. Basic MO, just body bisected. About 50% of the body mass just gone, mostly in internal organs. And the bodies were variously burnt and dumped and disposed of in a way. The murders started happening about 6 years ago, and up until about 9 months ago, happened on a semi-regular schedule. And then all of a sudden, for the last 9 months, nothing. Went silent. And after 6 months of the case going cold, it was pushed by the Homicide Review Board and General like kind of looks through his notes and he said, I always forget his fucking name. Hold on, Nathan Moss. He's newly appointed as a 2-star general, trying to get his numbers up, and he's definitely pushing for a lot of cases to be closed. Just have it review proper. Like, it's always good when an official brings down open crime investigations and the like. As well as the Homicide Review Board definitely pushed for it as well for various reasons. And the investigation was halted, but old Hobson didn't really feel like the investigation was done, you know? And with two agents missing last year, and this, by the way, I hope you don't share with others. The agents' involvement was kept very secret from the public. No one knows about their identities, but the mere fact that that's involved has Hobson very, very concerned.
How long ago did they go missing?
They were actually victims number, cases 9 and 11 within the last 2 years. Hold on, I have a whole list here of actual. He opens a dossier. He goes like a little like drawer, and he pulls out like a dossier that actually has like case reports and things like that from the ground that you guys can look over. He puts it on the table. You feel free to ask questions about it.
I just want to make sure I didn't mishear you. You said there hasn't been another murder in 9 months, or was there one recently that caused you to okay.
No. The case was the whole case was closed, and officially the Odmesh homicide division is no longer looking into this. However, Lorraine Hobson, the sponsor of this whole endeavor, definitely feels that this is definitely not an open and shut case. It's not. The butcher has never been caught. However, he did go dark.
I see.
And there were some leads that looked promising, but Lorraine Hobson was stopped from investigating. I know that these 2 leads that she has is what she wants you to start with. Let's see. Yes. So there's definitely one of the things that she noted was that she was looking into before she was stopped was the 3 new members that were appointed in the most recent election cycle to the Homicide Review Board. 3 names, and he kind of like pulls open the dossier and like puts out like 3 different pictures. You see one of them looks like a half-elf woman that's wearing like a circlet.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? Yeah. The circlet with the religious symbol on there.
I think it's a diadem.
Diadem, yeah. Yeah, so if anyone wants to roll a religion check on that sigil real quick. If you're trained in it, yeah.
I'm not trained in it.
No. Yeah, I'll let you roll it if you're trained on it, just because I don't want to have everyone roll.
Yeah, that's fair.
I rolled an 11.
That's good enough. You recognize this as an offshoot of a sort of like All Faiths Church called the Temple of the Primordial Truth. Mm-hmm. You've heard a couple of things, mostly just that they're more of a research arm of like theocracy rather than like a worship arm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they essentially more of like scribes and like researchers that are looking into like library sciences and like hunting down documents and stuff. But they have some very strange faith stuff that you're not privy of, but you know their name.
Okay.
Yeah. The next one is Staff Sergeant Ymir Utz, like an orc-looking person with military like chevrons and stuff like that. Looks like a very like handsome-looking person. Yeah. And then the last one is Sees Mose Brighton. lizard folk guy with really like with like a 17-piece suit or whatever. I don't know how many piece suit a lizard folk needs. Really politicianed up. Like, just imagine a lizard folk but in a suit. That's who sees most is.
17-piece suit.
I don't know how many pieces there. He got
A 3-piece suit is a big fancy suit.
Yeah, I hear they're all the rage in Mesh.
What was the first person's name?
The name as you look over the picture is Bishop Matilde Taproot.
A bishop, huh?
Yeah. It says the 3 of these were elected in the most recent election cycle, and they're the ones who all voted in favor for. They go through this quite often to review where the finances go. But for the most part, until these 3 showed up, no members of the board were really on board with shutting down open homicide investigations. Definitely strange, but Hobson was looking into them before and told to shut it down before she could investigate these 3. And then the next bit is also about another thing that she was looking into was hold on. Oh yes, the connection between the 13 bodies. Like I mentioned, there were various victims, 13 in total to count. There may be a few that didn't meet the MO or weren't even found, but these are the 13 we know of. Most of them happened in the first 3 years, and then after that, or the first 2 years, and then after that, kind of tapered out and started hitting a regular schedule. But in the last year, they were the agents that went missing. They were also investigating this, and from what I'm told, they were really close to Hobson. But she didn't tell me too much about that. All I know is that the second agent was actually also a follower of the primordial truth, if that may be a connection. I know not.
Is that all we got?
That's all I was given, yes. Although I can set up a meeting with Lauren Hobson. However, such a meeting would have to be very covert and would take some time in order to orchestrate.
Okay.
So
we're supposed to find the butcher.
Ideally, although anything that leads to actionable evidence that can get the investigation reopened.
Okay, so we're supposed to find evidence to get the case reopened.
In essence, that would be ideal. However, there is still a mass murderer out there, or not a serial killer out there that seems to want to flaunt the law. And that's the reason why Odemesh SRC was given the go-ahead with priority 0. This is a case that the certain people in the higher-ups want to see opened and definitely feel. And with the current politics of the Homicide Review Board and the General Moss barring such action, they can't do it overtly. And SRC's been implemented to help with this endeavor.
Is there are there any like connections between where the bodies were found?
Yeah, there's a few. A few of them were found in the same area. However, throughout the 6 years, it definitely got moved around. The correlations are as such, kind of pulls out a map and like the various points on the bodies. There doesn't seem to be any patterns or anything like that. Anything specific you're looking for, Frog?
Was it apparent that the victims were killed there? Or
you can roll me as you look over the evidence. You can roll me like a either an investigation or like any other applicable like knowledge based thing to kind of like glean information.
Okay.
At this point, Malmira's just pushed the whole envelope in front of him.
I go investigation. I got a 16.
All right. As you're looking over the evidence, real quick rundown. Majority, about more than half of the bodies are unidentified, citing things along the lines of like torching. So like the bodies were burnt, evidence was thing. And then as it goes on, it does look like they got wiser about how they were investigating them. Things along the lines of like breaking, like taking out teeth and stuff like that, you know, classic serial killer stuff. It gets pretty gruesome. But as you're going through this, there are things along the lines of so the first identified was Icar Bulk, female Goliath, mother of one. Then goes on. Then victim number 5 was Otha Potman, female dwarf, line worker, poet. Boys Voltha, a male turtle. It looks a retired adventurer, very old. And then unidentified number 8, Kasu Ilthos, lizard folk, midwife and nursery worker. And then it goes on. Number 9 was Agent Mutko Hassin, the positive ID via partial fingerprint. Number 10, unidentified. 11 was Agent Horace Yassin, positive ID via arcane prosthetic implants and bone that they were able to pull. Number 12 unidentified, and number 13 was Loa Pickerson, female elf, college lecturer of theology at Whistleworth Sentinel Academy.
I say we probably have a meeting with Hobson, obviously covert, to see what the previous agents, where they left off.
I would like to kind of take a closer look at the pictures.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna put on the Discord. Sorry to interrupt.
okay, no, you're fine.
On the Discord, on our private Discord, I'm going to put text for the victim list, so you guys can
that
see
would
more
be
details.
awesome. Yes, please.
Yeah.
But Snaps is going to take a closer look at the picture, all of the pictures, and see if she can't see like a pattern of some sort, like a repeating pattern. Maybe see if any of the victims were wearing like any sort of like you had mentioned, maybe a specific like symbol or something like that. So just pure perception to like see if there's any sort of pattern.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even like a murder weapon or method of
any sort of like strict pattern.
Yeah.
Well, that's not very good, but she has high perception. So that's sitting at a 15.
Yeah, you look over it. Definitely, it looks like as you're going around, you can kind of roughly put them in order of what when they were done, because the MO seems to be in general, obviously bisected to 2 parts of the body, internal organs gone.
Is it horizontal or vertical bisect?
Horizontal.
Okay.
Horizontal, and most of the internal organs are gone, and it looks like things are burnt from the inside out, like someone put like some sort of accelerant on the bodies to remove evidence. And as the chronologically goes on, it starts getting into like which is why it's called the butcher more recently, is because they get more clinical with the evidence hiding portion of all this. So yeah, the sort of through line you see from the pictures is definitely like more of the more recent ones. It definitely looks like they're like after like the second year, like so the more last 4 years, the more recent ones, numbers 8 to 13 look like they're more organized, and their bodies are posed the same way, like similar ways, but just enough that like it's worth noting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so you wish to meet with Hobson.
I think that would definitely help with the investigation. We're getting it open.
Yes. She's kept her schedule kind of open just for this occasion. But
Is she our client? Is she allowed to know that we're trying to reopen this, or?
She asked me to look into this matter, however I see fit, and with the SRC being on the up and Odemesh, it looked like a prime opportunity. Plus, I know quite a few other members of your constituents quite well. Me and them go way back. Although, you client privilege. I assume you guys would know how I gotta keep my sources hidden. But regardless, I'm not in that game anymore. But if it weren't for Hobson asking me for this personal favor, I wouldn't have come out of retirement.
Yeah, I just want to know if like what position or what stance we're coming in when we come into this.
Yeah. She knows what I am doing, but I choose to tell her only select things just for plausible deniability. Should anyone catch wind that the SRC is looking into this, it could have some political ramifications in the Odemesh military. Best to keep things as far away from the truth as we can until we're ready to present it to the world,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Probably come in maybe as news reporters looking at old cases just to.
We already have our alibis.
That's well. I don't know if Hobson knows our alibis, and it'd be a little bit weird if, Well,
I think it's.
I mean,
I'm just confused.
No, I mean,
That's like
I wasn't told your alibis, but if we're willing to work together, I am supposed to be on Odemesh to see an old friend, and that's. Well, I'm on. Supposedly, I'm on my vacation tour. My retirement. This is the best. Yes. So I'm gonna be visiting some old friends, talking with certain generals that I've known back in the day, helping with their political things as advisors, of course. But that's my cover.
So you're. Would you? Sorry, I lost the voice.
Yes, my really gruffy voice seems to be rubbing off on you.
Would you be able to arrange a meeting with us with Lorraine?
Yeah, for sure. I'll look into that once we land. I can promise.
I'm sure you can give her a good enough reason why we'd be wanting to meet.
I can promise nothing in terms of timetables. However, I will try my best to make sure it happens tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great.
Sure.
So, Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're fine. I was just saying okay.
Good. I'll give you guys some time to look over all these documents. Would you like some tea? I realize I haven't offered you any yet.
Oh, I've had a lot of caffeine today.
All right, some water then.
That'd be great.
All right, cool. So yeah, you guys have some chance to look over the documents and talk amongst yourself about your potential plans.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys will meet with Sergeant your handler, Sergeant Oathmaker, tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
At the bar.
Is Oathmaker in on why we're here, or is he only in on the alibis?
Oathmaker, from the way it's worded, it's very clear that he's your handler, which means he knows what you're up to.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the second in command at Odemesh, in the Odemesh branch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's us, Oathmaker, and Whitmore. Those are the only people who know why we're here.
Yeah, that's the two people that you're going to be working with.
Yeah, Lorraine might.
Yeah.
Might. Okay.
Lorraine, I think the pretense is that Whitmore wants to keep her out of the loop as much as possible, so that way she has plausible deniability.
Okay.
If this comes back. On
Okay,
her.
that's what I want.
Yeah.
That way. Okay, we'll ask her just some questions and then leave probably.
Yeah.
Just to pick up on the trail.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Here's some tea, some water for you.
I think that's.
Yeah, I think that's all we need to do here.
All right,
Some
very
debriefing.
good. Well, I hope you enjoy anything else. And make sure that if anyone asks, I showed you a picture of my granddaughter, huh? He kind of like pulls open a little document. It's for my alibi. He whispers to you guys. Yes, and he opens up a picture. It looks like it's him with like three little dwarfs and a little bugbear boy. They're all kind of like smiling. Yeah, he kind of goes through this whole little dealio. Yeah, spend a little bit of time getting to know him. He seems like a pretty chill dude. Got a real like Jimmy Buffett vibe, just kind of like chill. The rest of the trip is kind of uneventful. I don't know how you guys are going about it. Are you guys going about it like you guys don't know each other? Or are you guys gonna be like you guys know each other as friends, just kind of like for optics?
I'm okay with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, friends happen to be traveling together, all for different reasons, but we're traveling together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so as we get to Odemesh, we pass over the Hilkar Valley, which is a very like pine foresty dealio, very tall trees. It's an ancient forest, and as we go over there, you hear over the intercoms, "This is your captain speaking. I just want everyone to know that that you will be experiencing some arcane fluctuations as we get closer to the to the Astros Rift. As you know, the various arcane disturbances as we get closer to Odemesh will become more frequent, and we will be converting over to mundane power. When that happens, don't be alarmed from the massive engines firing up or any backfiring. That is normal. Please be advised that the vibrations are not us crashing. They are simply us switching over from arcane energy due to the arcane fluctuations.
Malmira drops a pen.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of just to GM to you guys, this is because of the arcane rift that opened up and the massive floating mountains that are nearby Odemesh. They're like 20 miles out of Odemesh, but just be simply in proximity of it. Magic works a bit weird in Odemesh simply because of the arcane fluctuations that are still kind of permanently there.
Your magic gonna be okay, Snaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a master magician.
Oh, okay. Glad to hear that will that you'll be all right here.
Ta-da.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and you guys have on you your identification cards. If we remember, we talked about that. It's like sort of like an FBI badge where once you put your thumb on it, it has a little arcane hologram that pops out.
Cloak.
Yeah, identifies who you are. It's like bound to you and stuff.
Yeah.
You guys don't have any like overt symbols that you guys have on your clothing, just because it is a covert mission.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we get to the city of Odemesh. We fly over the Hillcar Valley. We get to the mouth of the river where this massive waterfall comes down. It's one of those wide ones that it's kind of like Niagara Falls, but not as big. Just one of those wide waterfalls that just has this massive river coming out of it. And on the right side of it, as you guys get across the valley, you see a lot of industrial smokestacks coming off the side of the mountain, and it's embedded into the walls with all these mine shafts and various routes and tunnels and scaffolding lifting and bringing up like freight carts of coal and minerals and other valuable materials that they've extracted from the side of the mountain. And then beneath that on the is just this massive sprawl of concrete and steel structures with a lot of smoke coming out of all the tops. And as you guys are traveling, the engine has alternated between arcane energy and actual steam powered energy simply because of how they go from it. You can see kind of weirdly, you can kind of see where the arcane null zone is. It's like an entire district where like the ring is, a lot of smoke coming out of there. And then you can see like the arcane reactors and energy transfer nodes on one side of the city, and the other half is just smoke. Yeah, coming out like a very steampunk style city on that half. As you guys dock, you guys all depart from the Arrow Ferry, and you guys go about maintaining your alibis. If everyone could roll like either a deception check or whatever, this is kind of just like or whatever charisma based thing to go do to kind of maintain a rough alibi for the next couple of hours as you guys go check into your inn.
Okay.
I got a non-nat 20.
I got a natural 1.
Isn't that a 7?
That's a 1.
The 7.
The 7's right
Fucking
there.
moron. I rolled a 10. To be fair, though, Fern is also lying about her alibi.
Okay.
Albert's dead.
To be fair, Fern is also going through and being like, I'm here for a conference on magic.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I was probably just like, what? No, not here.
With all those swords,
like
really?
She's clearly holding a sword and a shield, and she's probably like holding a pamphlet for Master Franklin's this dude is exists. She did her research. Master Franklin, whatever, Mr. Franklin, whatever. He teaches like swordsmithing and like sword handling. So she's like holding a pamphlet for it. She's wearing all this, and she's like, I'm gonna go see Master Franklin about magic.
Yeah.
So they're all like, okay.
I'm gonna go see Stephen Hawking about cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's like what she's saying. What did you roll again? You rolled non-natural 20, Frog?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
I
then-
feel like Malmira gets off the thing and he's like, I don't have a hotel reservation.
Yeah. You guys were just told to check in the same inn.
Okay. But yeah, I rolled a 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
Albert just died. Just straight up died. He got off the airship, and they're like, you clearly don't belong here.
And what'd you roll again? You rolled a 4?
Me? No, I rolled a 10.
10, that's what you got, okay.
Wow, we got the 1, we got the 10 at the dead event,
Whoa!
and then we got the 20.
Yeah, you're right. We got the bottom, the exact middle, and the highest.
Okay.
To be fair, I rolled an 11.
Yeah.
And to be
I have a
transparent,
natural 1.
to be transparent
Or
about the way this
negative
works, you're maintaining your alibis. I have a little prolonged skill check that will take that every day you maintain your presence here.
Sure.
Yeah, you have to get so many failures, and Albert just got 2 because it works like a death save. Yeah. So, you guys all go about your business. You get to Master Franklin. Do you have a first name for Master Franklin?
His name is... You can see what I'm about to say. Stop laughing at me. His
Franklin
name
Franklin.
is Frankfurt Franklin. So
All
he's
right.
Frank Franklin.
I like that. Master Frankfurt Franklin.
Jebediah? Oh, of course.
Franklin. Yeah, Frank Francis Franklin.
To be frank.
His middle name is Francis. He's Frankfurt Francis Franklin.
It's a very frank instructor.
Yeah, he's actually a graduate from Whitmore or Whitworth Sentinel Academy.
To be fair, Snaps is very excited to meet this man.
Yeah.
She's actually very excited to meet him. The University of Frankfurt, yes.
Yeah, he's a graduate of Whitworth Sentinel Academy, which is probably somewhere that you're pretty like you know. I think Fern would know about, or Snaps would know about, simply because it's one of like the first adventuring academies that opened up like 70 years ago. Like it's one of the oldest ones that actually set up to more officially. It was more overt about its adventuringness rather than just like a military academy or whatever.
It's probably a dream of hers to actually go there, but
Yeah.
she didn't.
Yeah.
She went to college for magic.
Yeah. So you would know a lot about Whitworth, and you know Franklin because he used to be an instructor there, but since he retired, but he's come out of retirement to do seminars and do public speaking efforts and stuff like that. And when you found out that part of your cover they would pay for you to go to one of his seminars, you hopped on it. Super excited about it.
So to be fair, her alibi is true, but she's lying to people saying she's here for magic.
Yeah, and that'll cause its own suspicions in itself. So yeah, let's do a little quick scene of you doing that. Like you probably checked into the hotel, you put down your little stuff, and then you go out to the actual seminar like that evening. This will just be like kind of little snapshots, and then we'll kind of be arbitrary about time in terms of investigation if you want to go back and do that. But I just kind of want to have scenes of you guys maintaining your alibi.
Okay.
So we see the seminar. It's like one of those things that's in a hotel where they have like the thing and they have like a little sign that says seminar this, you know what I mean? And you go in there and it's master. So we will be talking about the blade today. Then tomorrow we will be talking about the merits of the shield. And then the day after, the bow. And we will end with a course on dungeon delving. This last day is going to be the most intriguing, and those of you who have signed up for the advanced course will for sure be going on a practical run featuring myself and my assistants. Although I'm looking forward to it, but as you can imagine, me in my elderly age, I won't be participating as much as I used to, and for that I apologize. Any questions before we start off? And he's like this old. What race do we think he is?
Gnome.
Yeah, he's a gnome. He's a gnome that uses a double-handed sword.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. Any questions? Yes, you in the back. You look like you have a question.
Are you going to be covering at all the forging of swords too?
Oh, there's a brief mention of it. However, we tend to focus on the practical skills. However, I do have a colleague that does specializes in the forging process. I'm not. He has seminars briefly, but he's currently lecturing at the Whitworth's Academy. Although, if you are interested in the art, I'm sure I could help you with that.
I'm interested in all of it.
Yes, I like the spirit. Everyone could learn from this young one. Will that be all? Any other questions? And someone else raises their hand, and then he kind of like zooms in on Fern.
Snap sits there panicking.
Yeah.
She like looks down at Mina. She's like, he talked to me.
And Mina's like sniffing.
Mina's like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Good job.
I'm a rat.
Yeah.
I'm a rat.
Let's move on to Frog's alibi. Well, you said that you won
A darts throwing championship.
a darts throwing championship. Because of that, they tied in a reward, right? Or are you here
thought it
for
was
like
here
the
for the
finals?
Yeah. Oh no, the reward is my trip here. I'm just here to sightsee.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
this is like a spa day almost, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a spa day.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably got like you probably got like the main reward itself was probably hotel tickets and like
Yeah.
ferry flight, right?
Mhm.
The ferry trip,
Mhm.
and then you can kind of plan whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I'm here. I'll probably go to maybe like a tourism thing, get a map, and then
you
just
know they
see
do
the
like a
sights.
ghost tour or something.
Do they do ghost tours?
I'm just wondering what Frog would look for. Would Frog be looking for the ghost tour, or would you be looking for like the historical, like legit tour?
looking for whichever one. Like, if there's a tour that happens to like walk by a couple of like the crime scenes, like that way I have an excuse to like overlay the
you
map.
you have an excuse to go over to the city.
Yeah.
That can be arranged. Before we do that, though, I want to acknowledge chat real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, welcome. Is that T?
That's Taquan, yeah.
Taquan, yeah. Yeah, the gnome was entirely improv. I'm sorry.
I was just like, based on that voice, it's something small. We have plenty of halflings. Let's go with gnome.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 1. So I like to imagine Malmira gets to his hotel, like puts his stuff down. It's just like, well, it's not enough time to do anything else tonight. I'll just like get a drink, I guess. And then like smash cut to he ends up in a bar crawl on accident. And it's just like doesn't make it back.
Okay, let's circle back to Frog real quick because I want to see the scene
sorry.
of doing the improv. So yeah, you look up a couple of. You've been looking into this for a bit. I don't think there's any like technology that would facilitate you Googling whether or not there are tours in this city.
Yeah, I'd have to go to like a tourism like
yeah,
board, like maybe
you know how like hotels do have that
they
like,
have those little
pamphlet board.
Yeah, I'd look
like
through
when
those
you
or
check
something.
in, you grab a bunch of those and
Yeah.
you like compare their maps and their scopes.
Their routes.
Yeah, their routes, and you kind of like get an idea of what's happening, and you get some like meetup points and prices for the ones you do want to go to. I'm not gonna worry about you guys pricing everything you guys do. You guys can like
we
Oh
have-
wait. Oh, if we're being dispensed, then yes, Malmira gets very
Yeah,
drunk
we
on
have
a bar
check
crawl
blanc.
yeah,
and
you guys
doesn't
do.
make it back.
You guys do have carte blanche on a lot of things. However, Malmira has probably gotten in trouble in the past for something very
Wait,
similar.
we have a company credit card?
In essence, you spend your own money, but you get comped at the end of the mission. Yeah. And everyone has enough to do things that are within reason. Like you're not gonna be able to just buy a car.
I'm gonna buy a diamond.
Yeah. Like like if they're like fronting diamonds is something that SRC would do, especially for like revivifies and stuff like that. May come down the line. So it's not a question. So Frog, you go through the tours. You've nailed one that covers the most ground. But before we get into this, what are you looking for specifically?
Just to kind of
like
see like the type of like terrain. Maybe if it was like just to kind of like see it. If I don't like get to directly see it, it gives me a good vibe of like the people or the area around it. Like maybe if it's in slums. Maybe if it's in a high-end part of town.
Yeah, okay then. Yeah, so you get on a tour. What type of tour do we think it is? Oh.
Frog
Is it a
wouldn't care.
ghost?
She's kind of a
Okay.
master at blending in. So if it's like a ghost tour, that's good.
That's Brandon talking.
she's looking to converse with other people as well. People who are local specifically.
Yeah, okay. I like a cryptid ghost tour, like a more like whatever, which is strange because in this world, cryptid tours are kind of more realistic because
It's more of a safari tour if it's a cryptid tour.
It's an urban safari tour. Yeah, that's what it is.
Uh-huh.
It sort of like comes in and talks about all the creatures and stuff like that. The tour has been kind of going whatever, and we're gonna hop into it where you guys are walking through the more industrial magic null zone. Magic's dampened here. Essentially, mechanics wise, it costs one extra spell slot to do a magic spell here than it would normally. Doesn't mean you can't do magic, it's just it's harder.
Yeah.
And for normal mundane arcane artifacts that are more prevalent in other regions of the zone can't work here without being supplied with a shit ton of juice. Just makes them inefficient. So that's the reason why they kind of started going into like, oh well, this is electricity. Electricity is kind of shitty because we can't just use a spell for it, but it works like this. And Ode Mesh has pioneered that effort of like industrializing and retro engineering things, and they kind of have comparable technologies between the two. But you guys are in one of the more industrial parts of Ode Mesh, and you guys are walking through. And the tour is like, so this is where the soot monster was seen back 3 years ago. The soot monster has been met with various opposition. People say that it's just an urchin that was covered in soot, prowling around. However, the documents of the footprints, as well as the various other sightings, has all put the soot monster in this alleyway and around these parts. And if we see here, we've recreated an almost exact type of footprint that was documented by I was kind of thinking of a name here, by Boston Willow. By Boston Willow 2 years ago. And if we're lucky, then we might be able to see him. Come on, follow me. He kind of walks in. This is the same alleyway that was on one of the maps. It's just like a real grimy alleyway. But as you're going through, you can like make perception checks along the way. So maybe one perception check for like the entire tour, because this is like over time, right? It's not just the one.
Yeah, this is just kind of like a preliminary search to just kind of check around. So I got a 5.
Okay. Well,
unless this is investigation, but I don't know.
I would count this.
I mean, investigation is only 1 better, so it's not great.
It's still a 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little distracted by thinking, soot monster?
Is it a soot monster or a suit monster? I can't tell what he's saying.
There's other various cryptids in here as well as ghosts, because it's like
Yeah.
yeah. But the strange thing about just Ishurla in general, the cryptids are very real. Like, there are creatures that are not documented in this world. Like, sure, we know the ones that we know because they're nearby, but in mountains and shit, we have no idea what's happening up in there.
And let's pause for a second. Thank you guys. Hello, James
Hello.
Chats. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for the raid.
Welcome.
We really appreciate
No,
it.
this is a good time to take a little bit of a break before we hop back into it.
Yeah, it's been pretty pretty narrative heavy.
Yeah,
it's
so
a good chance to pause to welcome everybody in.
yeah,
Hello.
we'll come back to the narrative in a little bit.
Welcome, guys. We're Blanket Term. We're a group stream where there's 4 of us. We do things. Doing the kawaii.
I don't know. I'm posing. You're
Kawaii.
talking, but I'm still on screen.
Kawaii desu.
Kawaii des. Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, welcome. Variety streamers, we're doing some D&D today. We're beginning a session. It's our very first time doing this one. It's only going to be a few long, and then we're going to be doing other things. Hello, James Chats. How are you doing today?
Yeah.
How are you doing today? What were you playing? Hold on. I'm going to type things.
Hey, and thank you for the subscription, Servant Hunt.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
what's up,
we
Ryan?
appreciate it. Hello. I see Muito Fofo. I'm not sure if that's the name of a game.
Is that a name of a game?
That's
Is
a
that
fun
the
sounding name.
Played some good
Ah,
old
gotcha.
villainous.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the follows. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Super cool.
How'd Villainous go today? Did you get crushed by chat or did you crush your chat?
Ooh, that's always a good question when it
Yeah.
comes to James Schaap playing Villainous.
This is true.
I watched the stream for a bit. It's really interesting the amount of engagement that has. It's definitely more chaotic than anything that I think we've tried to do with chat. But it might be
Yeah.
interesting to try implementing it.
Always a little scared, like chat's just gonna show up with overwhelming force and just dumpster whatever we're doing.
Oh man, final score 1-1. Hey, that's not bad. A win, one
Yeah.
win, one loss. You're breaking even there, so that could be worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the energy though with all of it.
That's
It's a really interesting system, and I love the way that that he's integrated like chat interaction
Yeah.
with all the gameplay. It's just
Yeah.
really well done.
yeah.
Want Dungeons and Dragons? Well, you're in the right place.
Yeah. So before I hop into it real quick, my name is Alan. I'm the GM, and we got the 3 players.
We got our names underneath us as well as our character names.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we have that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you guys can tell
Yeah.
who we are.
But what we're playing is a homebrew setting, entirely from the ground up. We're not using any modules or anything, and we're not really using D&D, to be honest. We're being
We're
real.
using it as a game structure.
Yeah. But it's entirely homebrew. The world we're playing is Ishurla. It's it's a world that we made using the Quiet Year from the ground up. We aged it up. We made our own cities. Each of us is going to be GMing sort of like West March's style, and everyone that's watching has a chance to influence which missions we're playing on Twitter and using polls and stuff. And I got voted the first one. We are currently investigating the Ilthos Butcher, a notorious serial killer in the city of Udmesh, and our 3 heroes are currently investigating a closed case as reputable third-party representatives.
Yeah, so that's the short version of it. Yeah. We're doing. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be, like Alan had said. It's a world that all of us have made, so we're all going to be DMing at various points in time, and the campaigns that we're running are going to be a few sessions long, keeping the same players and some of the same characters. We each have a few characters, and we'll be kind of like swapping them out as is necessary.
For party composition, really.
For party composition.
Yeah. But we'll definitely have primaries. We'll have our main characters.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. So what it means is for you guys, if you want to watch a singular arc, it'll be 2 or 3 weeks long at most.
Yeah.
And then we'll swap over to another arc, and all these are going to be on YouTube if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun making this world.
It was so much fun. Playing the Quiet Year is always really good. I've only played it 3 times, and 2 of them were to create this world. And, well, really, if you can consider it one game, then I only played twice. But it's a really fun game. It's a really fun game. If you don't know what it is, look it up.
Yeah. The Quiet Years is a world building system that's like super chill in the sense that it's not mechanics heavy. It's a lot of conversation and discussion with your fellow players.
It describes itself as a map building game. It's really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
But we're doing Theater of the Mind D&D today, just in the world that we built in the Quiet Year.
Do we want to?
Oh, it's a rotating DM.
Yeah, it is a rotating DM.
Based on you guys.
Yeah. So we're what we did before we do a lot of RP. We're gonna be digging into it. It's gonna be a lot of fun once we finish like this brief mental break of the RP setting.
Yeah. Well, do we want to reveal how we do the voting thing? Yeah. So basically, there's going to be 3 options every single time we finish an arc. The 3 options are proposed by the other GMs that hasn't GM'd most recently, and then you guys vote, and then we choose which mission, and then they GM. Yeah. And then when they complete their arc, same formula. Whoever didn't GM proposes a mission, and then you guys vote, and then we do that mission.
Yeah, so you guys don't get to know in advance who is going to be GMing which session. Guys are going to be looking at the requested missions for the company that we work for, the SRC. You guys get to see the requests for them and say which one you want to see fulfilled on camera. And then based off of that, we're going to be doing it. But that means that Alan's not going to be GMing the next one. He is guaranteed playing the next one. So it allows for everyone to get to play and to get to GM at various points in time.
And where can they go to vote if they want to vote?
Twitter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so with that being said, I think we should get back into it. Unless you guys need to use the restroom or anything. No, we're good?
No, I
used it on the airship.
Yeah.
Use it on the airship. All right, yeah, talk back into it. So,
but before we get back in, once again, thank you guys very much for coming and hanging out with us today. We really appreciate the Raid James chats. You're welcome as always. We love having you here. We love tuning in when we have the time to tune into your stream. Even if we don't say things a lot of the time, I tune in whenever I see you live. I'm just not good at talking.
I was lurking.
So we love you very much. Thank you guys very much for coming in and hanging out and enjoy. We do kind of cut down on the chat interaction as we're playing, just because it helps us to keep us in the mind space. I kind of like bounce in and out of chat on the computer.
And if something's worth mentioning, we mention it. I'm watching chat too. I'm saying everything that's
we're watching chat. It's just sometimes it's hard to pop out of the role play mind space to respond to it. It's just about like mental stuff. So thank you again very much, and we're happy to have you guys here.
Yeah. So what's?
Oh no, it's echoing again.
Oh no. It's weird. It's been coming in and out. We don't know what it is. We think it's a webcam, but
you know what? You mentioned restroom. We use it.
While we wait for the echo to go away.
Yeah.
That's really weird. We really don't know what's causing it. There's nothing. Maybe we just need to cycle the microphone.
We did that for the podcast right before we started. And even if it did, I don't necessarily think that would happen.
Yeah.
Because of the way the interface works, I don't think that's Possibly.
don't
The only
know.
thing I can think of is maybe Audition is doing something, but we.
Oh, you know what? That could be that.
That
That
could
could
be
be
it.
it.
Well,
Oh, I wonder if it's. I wonder if it's actually the. I wonder if it's the noise suppression filter that I have on.
Maybe.
Because they were saying that it goes away when we get a little bit closer.
yeah, that might be a thing. We just have it set up so that way we don't have to be right up and eating the mics for this one. We ordinarily do, but this one's gonna be a bit more.
Thanks for the bits. We appreciate it. Like the good vibes. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We're all about good vibes and fun, even though we are about to investigate a mass murderer.
I said mass murder, but I meant to say serial
Killer.
Yeah.
It's more like CSI style right now.
I did hear Gonti say that.
Yeah,
it's
he said CSI Miami.
And I'm like, I didn't even think about that when I put this together. I just wanted it to be an investigation thing.
Each of our sessions are going to have different themes too.
Yeah. It's gonna
They're
run
not
the
all going to
gambit.
be investigations. Some
Yeah.
of them might be more like going out and fighting things. Some of them
might just be a
be
straight up dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the biddies. We appreciate it. For the
All
good
three of
luck.
you, but not
Thank you.
Alan.
Good luck acknowledged.
Huh.
I think it is maybe
Thank
the mic
you.
setup, but
Weird.
like maybe we're getting picked up on like another mic. Or
Happens to all
something.
three of us, but not Alan. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe we'll try to stay a little bit more consistent with our distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let us know if it happens again.
Yeah.
Because we are experimenting a little bit with our mic setup. We might
Yeah.
just have to go back to the rec
E in the
room
mic,
to
yeah.
eat in the mic
Yeah.
to prevent it in the
Nom,
future.
nom, nom. Let's go.
Yeah, see, it does
Thank you.
come. It comes in and out. I'm sorry about it,
weird.
guys. Just going forward, we'll
Yeah.
investigate it. But right now, I'm on a timetable.
Let's see
Well,
how those good luck bits are affecting us. Pretty good.
Hey, pretty good. That's a
Pretty
19.
good.
You
That's a
wasted the
19.
roll. Good job.
Oh my god. No. It's gauging. It's gauging. It's
Yeah.
gauging. the
Okay.
luck.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
like a timed buff.
with your 6 on investigation during your cryptid tour.
This was before the good luck bits.
Yeah, this is before the good luck bits. During that investigation, you don't really find much. The murders that happened in the zones that you were going through happened like a year ago, 2 years ago. The most recent one happened 9 months ago. And none of it looks like, obviously they cleaned the scene and stuff, so it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to suss out anything. And you think there's something you're missing that's a through line or something, but nothing really stands out. And you spend like most of the evening doing that.
And learning about local
Yeah,
cryptids.
you learn about local cryptids. What are a few you think you see? Just give me like 2.
There's the chimney crawler. It's some kind of like spider-like creature seen crawling into chimneys at night.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Some people think it's like a derivation of like some kind of shadow thing.
And then other people say that it's like some sort of like flying squirrel that's indigenous to the region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different theories sitting around that. And then there's then you've got it's a ghost, and it's
Yeah.
a ghost of a plumber who died in the area, but he was well known before he died as being a really good plumber.
Oh yeah, he was also an exterminator that got rid of fungus creatures,
and turtles.
Yeah, and other invasive creatures that come in. Yeah.
You know, whenever
And his name Mario.
Mario, his catchphrase Yahoo,
And yeehaw. Or something
let's go.
Yeah, and this is where the ghost known as Mario is known to prowl. If everyone could be very quiet, he's a good guardian spirit. Everyone close your eyes, and oftentimes if you see flashes behind your eyelids, that's him. Everyone close your eyes. Yeah, and it's
Mario.
you finish your ghost tour a little bit enlightened, then you head back to your hotel. Let's go to Malmira. Malmira, you decided to go out for a drink. What was your cover story initially?
I didn't really. I think my one is I kind of don't have one. I kind of came in. I'm like
They would have insisted you take one.
I mean, you travel with a caravan just around for various
Yeah.
work, so you could just be traveling again.
I'm just.
Well, you know what? If that were the case, one thing that I think they would propose is that you're supposed to liaison with like local merchants to get like pricings and like bulk orders for the caravan to come by and then move around
Yeah.
with. You know what I mean?
Something like that.
Yeah, and like you're
I'm not
essentially
being behind here. I have a cup.
So yeah, so Malmira's cover is that you're going to head to both set up affairs for the caravan. Like you're gonna go meet with local merchants to get like bulk goods set up, and like go to a fairground area to let them know like, hey, we're gonna rent out this many spaces in a month. You know what I mean? Set up affairs like that. Yeah. That's Malmira's cover. But then you go out to drink. Apparently,
I like turn off to the inn, and it's just like, well, I'm technically not supposed to do any of that until tomorrow.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just get a drink today.
Yeah. So we didn't
get a few drinks today.
On a continental bar.
We didn't really describe the inn. I'm gonna let you guys collectively give me a few details about the inn. In my mind, I imagine it more of like a sleep inn or something that's like still a bit like common, but like middle classy. You know what I mean?
So no continental bar.
That would probably be a continental bar.
Continental breakfast, not a continental
the
bar.
Would be like you'd have to pay.
I've never heard of a hotel having
Ode
free
Mesh
drinks.
does. Brandon said continental bar, and I'm gonna go for it.
All right, all right. It's mid-tier, so it's a continental bar. How about this? It's a buffet bar.
Ooh.
So you pay a certain amount to get in, and then you can drink all you want.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We don't advocate for unsafe drinking.
It has one of those things, you know, those like cool things where you like pull the lever for your cereal. It has that, but for like various liquors, like shot glasses.
Whoa! It's like a coffee machine where it spits out the shot glass and then it pours it in.
Or it's like the candy shops with like the powder, and you just have like a drink and you go up and you can do that.
Yeah.
You know, you got a big old silly straw and you plug it in, and like the vacuum just kind of shoves it up, and then you.
Yeah, and it always makes the steampunk just like steam coming up.
They just give you a one of those like those caps with the drinks.
This is the world we live in, guys. Thank you for helping me make it.
Again, drink responsibly. Be safe. Only drink if you're old enough and if you want to.
All right, so we'll start Malmira's scene in that bar that you've now discovered is an open bar.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just like...
What will you be having, son? You see an old turtle dude. He's like wearing a little spiffy bartender, a little outfit, and he says, yes, the chocolate dispenser, and I'm here to with anything you need. You want a piece of toast? It comes complimentary. Very strange laws in Ode Mesh. You have to have food in order to drink, and you have to buy the drink and just free booze.
Seems safe.
This is actually something that happened in Prohibition.
Oh yeah, because they weren't allowed to sell alcohol.
Yep, they had to do. Buy the toast, friend.
Oh, okay.
Toast, he says.
Sure.
All right.
I'll have the toast.
2 gold.
Well,
that's a lot for a piece of toast.
Okay.
But it's for an open bar.
Yeah.
I bet he like puts like a shot glass next to the toast.
Yeah.
He's like, buy the toast.
Yes.
I'll buy the toast.
All right. Here you go. Here's your shot glass. here's your booze helmet.
I could just have as much of this as I want.
Legally, no. However, I have break.
You bought the toast.
However, you did buy the toast. There you go.
And he's never seen it until tomorrow.
Yeah. We see a shot of his eyes just opening wide when he realizes what's happened. Oh. And then we like cut back to him like going to other bars and the whole like montage of him like toasting and drinking beer.
I feel like the cutscene ends as he takes like he's chugging a drink and like people are chanting chug 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 and his like pupils are getting wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. And he puts it down, cheers, and then it hard cuts to him like dead in bed the next morning.
Yeah. But one thing I will say, like I said, we can be arbitrary about time, but this whole day, you guys got there like pretty late in the evening.
Yeah.
We got there late.
Yeah, you guys would have got like you guys left at 3, and you guys would have gotten there at about like 10, 11ish, right?
Just broke my pencil.
10, 11ish. Now that I realize this would have been the next morning-ish, I guess. Unless, no, they would do midnight cryptid tours. Like, that's kind of the deal, right?
Oh yeah, midnight cryptid tours.
Part of the ambience.
Yeah. Although I think the meeting that you had with the
it was probably the following morning.
was like early in the morning next morning. So yeah, is there anything like actual like investigating that you guys wish to do? That this isn't gonna be arbitrary. We're not gonna do a scene on it. We just want to ask. I want to ask you guys a question. What leads you guys wanted to go look into a bit more?
Is there like an arcane internet?
Not an ode mesh. I think there would be like, it would be like
or
early.
a literal internet.
There would be like an encyclopedia type dealio that would have like public records, but you'd have to go to like a records office or like a library.
Would a library be open that late?
Not that late, but you could do
We'll
it
do
like
it in the
on
morning.
your way to the thing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what Snaps would be doing. She would be going and like trying to comb through just to see what public information there is out there. I don't like that face that you've made.
Sorry, I was looking at the thing and I was like, I was looking at chat. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were making the face of, oh no, I get to throw her in a bad situation. I was like, oh no, please.
No, you guys are pretty good investigators, but I think that's something we can do. Malmira is obviously hungover. However, you do wake up eventually. Like, what do you guys' plan?
Wait, do we have to make him make a con check to see how well he wakes up?
wasn't going to, but now that you've said it, yes.
I rolled a 10.
Plus.
That's it.
Yeah,
What? You don't have-
no, he doesn't have any. Remember, you were
Oh,
like,
right,
man,
he has
he's
no
squishy.
con. I was shocked that he has 18 health despite being level 3.
Yeah. Yeah. You're used to doing this, but last night was a lot. You've never really been in a city that just carte blanche about alcohol. The basic vibe for most of the bars you visited has been surprisingly buy piece of toast, have booze, free booze. Like like it's always been like a real expensive dealio, like a really expensive piece of toast, but you get a lot of booze for it. And the ball crawl you went around, you made a few like weird friends. You'd have trouble recalling all of them, but you met a few folks.
Inexplicably has some business cards in pocket.
Yeah, there we go. We have that. You can bring that out whenever.
We go. This is like upturns a bunch of business cards. I don't remember any of these people.
Yeah.
Drink
I kinda-
responsibly and never to access.
All right. And Frog, did you want to do anything specific? If not, we're gonna jump to snaps.
I'd probably join Snaps to head up.
All right,
the-
you
hit
gonna
up
meet,
the
go to
library.
the library together before once.
I don't. Yeah, there's not much else to like do. Maybe I'll talk to people at the library.
Awesome.
or-
So if you guys could give me, we can do the help action, or you can both roll investigation independently. Don't know how you want to work it out. Basically, you guys get 2 rolls on this. You can have one person do it, like one person with advantage, or you can both roll independently.
I think we can do advantage. I'll help you. I'll help you look.
Yeah.
You have better investigation than I do. I have no investigation.
Sorry.
Really?
Yeah. I'm all perception.
I have an
Oh.
intelligence
I'm
of 8.
I'm perception in really?
Yeah.
Also, Albert, you're a bit far away from the mic. I don't
Sorry.
I have an intelligence of 10. But
Oh,
I'm all
okay.
I'm all wisdom and dex. Like
Oh.
yeah, I'm not investigation. I am very, very deep into stealth, sleight of hand, and where did I put my other expertise? I never gave me. Oh
I think
my god!
no, you put it into perception.
I did. Did I put it into perception?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
That's why you have a passive perception of 16.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all like perception and sneaky and things like that. So I'm good at perception and I'm good with insight. So when we start talking to people, I'll be like, I know if they're lying.
Ah, good. Because I assume everyone is lying.
I can't see.
That's
oh,
a
I
plus
see.
1 to perception.
I see.
But
I see.
you know what? Plus 2 to investigation is good enough. So I guess we'll look around and check these records and
Okay.
yeah.
Any names you want to look up, or just in general for everything I gave you?
I think the idea is just to, in general, see what sort of information is out there.
Maybe they
Like-
had some potential like suspects or
All right, give me a couple seconds to kind of like look over my information and think of DCs.
yeah. Things to just look or think like we want to grab a whole like we want to grab the tail of this snake that is like long gone. So
Yeah.
either we meet up with the one lady, which we were going to do, or we find something else on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like hard to like think of a way that I could help because it's like I'm kind of charisma based and I'm trying to think of the best way to like try to talk to people for information, but it's like 9 months ago. It's
You're gonna
not
be the
really-
most useful.
During the investigations.
Yeah.
Or-
You're gonna be the most useful tonight.
And the interrogations, I think, is probably when you're going to be more useful.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll. I have some DCs in mind.
Okay. Are you helping me or is this
Yes.
okay? So
Yeah.
I have advantage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Roll 1. 6.
Okay, plus.
Oh no, that's it.
That's
It's 4
a
plus
6.
2.
Ooh.
And this is why we have advantage.
Oh,
I was
it
almost in that.
It was a nat 20 and it flipped off.
It's now
It's painful.
10.
10?
10.
Okay. That's not as high as I would wanted you to roll.
You know, the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, I don't think either of us wanted that roll. But what you do look over, there's a lot of names that were dropped on you yesterday. So anything specific, I'll give you one category to kind of like hone in on, and then after everything else, I'll just give you glossary information.
Suspects.
Okay. Suspects, which ones?
They wouldn't have published suspects
Oh,
in the
Yeah.
newspaper.
oh yeah, dang.
So that's not information that we're going to
Yeah.
be privy to in this.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Maybe
just
possible murder weapon.
What about
Or no, I don't think.
like
that's-
witnesses or first-hand accounts?
Oh.
witnesses and first-hand accounts is a good
Well,
idea.
maybe one of them has a picture of the crime scene.
Well, we've already seen.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get the dossier full
Oh,
of
do we?
crimes.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
okay.
all those.
I would also have a fair amount of like witness accounts if you wanted to look in that too.
Yeah, witnesses.
Well,
think
maybe,
this is
maybe the
accounts.
newspaper might have something like the police documents.
Okay.
though, for
Okay.
whatever
So you want to
reason.
look more into like documents that were contemporary to the murders, essentially, right? Is that kind of what you're looking
Yes.
for? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, we're looking for what information that was put into the newspaper just to see if there's like any.
even just getting like political climate might be useful. I see. What
Yeah,
you mean.
exactly.
okay.
We're just trying to get more information. We're
yeah.
about to get specific information tonight, so to hear what the general public thoughts are is going to still
Yeah.
be useful.
Okay. I will say that I'll start with the cursory information, then I'll get more into it. Right. So
Okay.
there's a lot of names that you guys were dropped, and a lot of newspaper stuff that weren't in the dossier. So you check over all the things. There's like a couple of like autopsies, like what more press releases about like the Ilthos butcherer, the news articles that have the Ilthos butcherers, like that's what they named them, and as well as the obituaries for the victims that weren't part of the dossier. The name of all the victims, there's 1, 2, 3.
There's 13 victims.
Yeah, hold on. 4. There's only 5 named ones that have been identified officially. There's the 2 agents, but 5 of them have been identified. The 5 you have obituaries for that do mention that they were part of the slew of kills of the serial killer. None of them jump out to you, so I'll go a bit more detail of Ilkara Bulk number 2, Goliath. Single mother, widow of Kosvian Bulk, a minor, remembered by 2 sons and a daughter. Then we have Otha Portman, female dwarf, a line worker and a poet. Recently, a publisher did a what's the thing when they publish a poet's works after they die? It's
What,
like
a post-mortem anthology?
yeah, it's one of those. It's like all of her works got recently published again, and it has
posthumous. Thank you.
posthumous. Yeah. So it looks like she's really young. She was only 19, but she had a lot of works, a lot of like poems, and the title is called the title of the anthology is called something along the lines of the moon's truth or something. The turtle, a retired adventurer. Not much known about it aside from the fact that it was the only one that wasn't bisected.
Then how do they know it was associated with the butcher?
Because there's still missing internal organs, torched from the inside. Same MO, it just
Okay.
wasn't bisected because shell.
Oh, fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't he also the only like male?
No,
other than
there's-
the investigators.
What?
other than the investigators, is he the only male? I mean, there's a whole bunch of others.
No,
that
yeah,
aren't
I give you a list. If you look on the
okay.
Discord, there's a whole list if you want to pull it up. Next is the lizard folk Kasu Ilthos, Den Mother. Not much looks like. That's about it. Everything. Let's see. And then Loa Pickerson, the number 13, college lecturer of theology at Whistleworth's Sentinel Academy. It looks like she was working on a couple of papers. A lot of the papers are related to theology of the Old Plane, and about the most recent study of the local spirits. and their application at Whistleworth Sentinel Academy. Yeah. And then next would probably be you guys looking into the 3 folks, right? The 3 members of the homicide review board. Matilda Taproot, you just see a directory. They're not in the business of putting private information and like where people live and phone numbers.
Yeah, of course not. But they would still post a thing like we're welcoming this person into the whatever.
Bishop Matilda's not the lead person on anything, but you see that her name's in association with the Primordial Truths Cathedral. It's like one of the call lists. You know what I mean? It's like whenever you look up like churches, they always have like, oh, this person's in charge of cleaning and stuff like that. She's on one of those like handout pamphlets that's been recorded there. Staff Sergeant Ymir Yultz, nothing about him. He's a military officer, and they keep those records locked. Seismos Brighton, very big politician, has a lot of stuff on him. A lot of slogans about multiculturalisms and different tribal recognitions for local like offshoots of various tribes in the region. Yeah, and then very specifically the sort of like feel of the climate, I guess, during the murders. It feels like a lot of the public outreach, public like documents are seeing the serial killing as something that hasn't really happened in Oadmesh before, and the military didn't take it very well because they were keeping a lot of things under wraps. Because this is like one of Oadmesh's first serial killings. Like it's happened in the past, but it's always been like 1 or 2, or like it was a rampant adventure or something like that, or it was gang violence.
Murder hobo.
Yeah, it was like gang violence, murder hobo, or something like that. It wasn't something as like nefarious or calculated and elusive. You know what I mean? Nothing like this has really happened, and the military for the first like 2-3 years kept it under wraps, and once the press got a hold of it, they kind of looks like the military didn't really respond very well to information getting leaked and the like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then after that, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still useful information.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's hop over to
Malmira.
Malmira waking up super hungover. Where you wake up at? Not in your room.
No, not in my room. I think he wakes up. I do kind of want to do. He just like wakes up like under a park bench.
Okay, I love it.
He's just like, like he gets up.
Hey, he gets up and like as he sits up, he hits his head on the park bench and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. The park in this region actually. Oh, it has like scrap statues. You know, like statues of welded scrap that make look intricate things. You're sitting underneath like a Naga statue. Yeah.
That's like
it's like next to a Naga statue. Yeah.
Okay, that's
it's like
okay.
It's like built in and out of the wall, and then the bench is underneath it. Yeah,
It's
you
just
wake
like-
up and it's like, and then someone next to you says, "Oh, you're up! Hey!" You roll over and you see some real scroungy like hobo.
Wake up, samurai.
Wake up! Wake up, friend! Hey, you're alive! You stopped snoring a little bit back there. I was worried. He's looking.
You got caught trying to cross the border, just like us.
I'd be worried too.
He's like curled up, laying next to you underneath the bench. He's looking at you. He's like, "Hey."
Well, I hope you had a good night too. I'm
Yeah, nothing weird happened though. You were very clear about that.
Good. I'm just gonna be on my way now. I'm pretty busy.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be here.
Sure.
Goodbye.
All right.
He rolls over. He rolls over and he starts like saying, "Oh, that guy was weird. I was really wishing he'd left so long ago. This is my bench." You get up and you walk away. You find your way back to the inn, and I assume she goes to her lecture. You come back.
Yeah.
What's the next plan of action for you guys? Did Malmira get married? I don't know. That's the answer from Malmira.
Nah, I don't think so. He's like, So I like to imagine like he does all this and wakes up super drunk, but he's managed to not lose anything.
Yeah.
Just out of
Actually,
being
go ahead
kind
and
of
roll me a charisma check, because I imagine you were
Okay.
like pumping a few people for information, right?
like
Like just trying to get a
maybe.
feel for.
I mean, maybe
various
you made
Like
names.
maybe
friends.
maybe he just heard something. So
Yeah,
I'm okay
yeah.
with
Let's
that.
roll a charisma check over that.
It's not great. Just like raw charisma.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like an 11.
Ooh, that's not the best. You definitely find out a little bit more about like Seismos' platform. You get invited to like various events, but like it's just sort of like friends being like, "You're my friend now. I'm totally gonna call you, even though after we
Yeah.
finish drinking, I'm not gonna remember your name." It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so he.
Real fast, can I add something to one of the business cards that you received?
Okay.
There, one of them, there's it's this very loopy handwritten stuff on it, and it says "Call me sweet cheeks," and there's a large purple kiss mark on it as well.
I like the fact that we're all GMs now, and that means that you're by doing that. I'm like, whoa, Don's planning something.
Not really planning. I'm just I wanted to flavor
No,
this.
No, this is really good because I do want to remind everyone we are all GMing in this shared world.
So I'm allowed to do
yeah,
shit
so
like
we're all
this.
allowed to
Okay.
interject with like various plot things.
Don
that are
will
relevant.
remember that.
Yeah, like if you guys feel like there's a plot thing you want to introduce, then introduce it.
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah. So you guys all confer with each other. What's the next plan of action? You guys have all finished maintaining.
Yeah. I like to imagine I like meet up. Like I knew, like we planned this like the other day, so I meet up with them like really late.
Yeah.
We have our meeting with Oathkeeper at 10 or
Yeah.
something.
Oh yeah, it's really late, isn't it?
Yeah. You guys. I forgot to tell you. Whitmore. He told you guys that he'll send a message to. It's a different bar. It's the bar that you went to last night. He said that if you ever need to get in contact with an emergency, just go to the White Rose to the White Rose restaurant. Sorry, for some reason my brain wasn't working.
White Rose Restaurant.
And any of the bartenders know how to get a hold of him via message spell.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if he owns the place.
Yeah. He said that if it's an emergency, you need to get a contact him right away. That's where you need to go. I forgot to mention that because that was important. Give you guys a lifeline.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, I forgot that was something I needed to do. Yeah. So you guys want to do what?
Well,
Have a meeting later.
yeah. We went to the library and we tried to look up some stuff.
Yeah.
Found some like basic information, but nothing like
Uh-huh.
super like some good stuff, but not like amazing. Do you want to go? Should we go investigate some of the other places?
Maybe
Just talk about people. How was your night, by the way? We didn't see you.
To be honest, I don't remember much of it.
Yikes.
I remember spending 2 pieces of gold on toast, and then I woke up under a bench.
Under? Wait, under a bench?
Yeah, under a bench. You alright there, Alan?
Don't. I'm sorry. I opened chat on my phone because I wanted to respond and I couldn't. Go
Oh, is
continue.
there
I'm
an ad?
sorry.
I see.
Sounds
I
like
didn't-
you were toast.
Yeah. So I bought some toast and I blacked out.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Where did you buy this toast from so I know not to buy the toast?
You
It
see,
was just downstairs at our hotel. It was really weird. They told me just buy the toast, and I was like, okay, I'll buy the toast. It was 2 gold. And then I don't remember anything else after that.
Snaps, remind me to never buy the toast.
Okay,
Thank you.
never
All
buy the toast.
right.
Star.
Let's What do you think? Ask around? Do we maybe talk to some people about
Well,
the other like those 3 peoples?
talk us through your thought process. You guys are investigators. I like this.
No. Okay. So, well, we did a little bit of research. I assume we're meeting in like somebody's room.
Yeah, you guys are in your
Yeah.
private rooms. You guys are just talking.
Well, so Frog and I did a little bit of research. We found some interesting, well, not all that much interesting stuff. We got a good some backgrounds. Got background stuff. Well, why don't you tell them about it, Frog?
Specifically the background about the victims or the 3 people on the homicide team.
I mean, all of the above. I'm bad at talking.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, we don't know much about the military guy because for obvious reasons he's kind of important.
Makes sense.
The politicians in charge of keeping tabs on like the surrounding tribes around Woodmash. So.
He's not. By the way, he's not currently in office.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
but that's what he's interested in.
Yeah, the board is more of like a city representatives dealio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's the military's way of trying to include everyone in the process of what you know what I mean.
Yeah, I can't remember if we learned anything about the I can't remember her name.
Which one, the bishop?
Yeah, the bishop.
Oh yeah, Matilda Taproot.
Taproot.
You knew that she just was on the pamphlet of the Temple of Primordial Truth.
It's just very hard, like it happened like 9 months ago, so it's not like we can ask people about it. It'd be weird if we did, right? Because like, who asks about a serial killer who hasn't killed anyone 9 months ago? It'd make us stand out. So I'm not really sure where I can help here. I'm not really much of a reading kind of person.
Yeah, I feel like there's not much we can do until we meet with the one Hobbs, is it?
Hobson.
Until we meet with Hobson.
Yeah, there's really not that much that we can do until then. Like you guys said, the trail's kind of gone cold, unfortunately. It's a little very cold. I'm not really sure how much we can do until we've met up with people. If it were newer, we could ask for like opinion on the street and see what people think. But then again, I feel like that's not all that much useful information, and I'm not really good at talking. I'm more good at like watching.
That's just so long ago.
Yeah.
We don't have a.
But as far as plan goes, we can plan. We can decide what we're gonna do. So we're meeting with Lorraine with Hobson today.
I don't think we have a time scheduled for that.
No, he hasn't given back to you. But he just said he had tried today.
Yeah, we're meeting with Oath. Oathkeeper.
So we're meeting with Oathkeeper for sure, or Oathmaker
Oathmaker.
for sure today, who will give us some more information. That's really late though, so we have a lot of time until then. We've already gone to the library to see what information we can get. So we really just kind of have to wait until we hear back from Hobson.
Yeah, I think it's probably best.
Yeah, I think we just gotta wait.
I guess we can keep up whatever it is our alibis are.
So I can go to the seminar?
Go for it.
The seminars only had morning sessions, and I think it's about noon. So I think you went through all your seminars.
Normally when they're doing seminar things like that, they have various classes throughout the day. You like purchase it's like a convention.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, sure. There's probably gonna be some more classes this evening.
Probably not taught by the same person, but there's probably like a wide variety of like speakers and things like that. Yeah, then I can. Oh, excellent. So she just grabs her bag and makes sure that Mina's tucked in her pocket, gives her a little piece of cheese. All right, come on, Mina, let's go. And she kind of like just zips out.
She gets halfway out the hallway. You remember that they're in your room, so you don't.
Sorry, this is my room.
Okay, we'll be leaving, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, what do you plan on doing?
I mean,
Snaps runs down the hallway, very excited to get back to the seminar.
I guess I got work I should be doing, but it's like we got a few days here. I can do it later. I don't know. You're just being a tourist, aren't you?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
A sightseeing. I went on a cryptid tour.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I learned about a lot of bullshit. But you know.
You believe any of the bullshit?
Probably not, because I called it bullshit. But you know, I didn't see anything to make me believe, but if I see a suit or soot monster attack me, then I'll suddenly start being a believer.
I mean, you see how many pieces of clothes that the lizard man was wearing?
Yeah.
You might be the suit monster.
Yeah, maybe. Like, what the fuck is that about?
We've uncovered a different conspiracy.
The 17-piece suit is a numerous accoutrement. It includes the handkerchief, the monocle, the pocket watch. It includes a lot of things. The belt. There's a lot of things in there.
All right.
17 pieces though.
You know, how much clothes? You see someone that big in the middle of the night wearing a whole bunch of different pieces of clothes? That's all black too. Is it black? Is it a black suit?
Which one?
The suit the lizard man wears. Is it like a black suit?
Sure.
He probably has multiple suits.
Yeah, he has multiple suits.
He has multiple 17-piece suits.
Multiple
Albert.
17 pieces. All right, hold on. As we're doing this, as you guys are role playing this, I'm gonna figure out what those 17 pieces are.
All right. Maybe we can go talk about, or to people about the one of the victims, the poet. Maybe someone will know about. I don't know.
You got her. You got the name of her anthology that's been published. They published like a month ago.
Maybe we can talk it to the publisher. Maybe talk about that. And it seems like a natural sequence to just be ask, out of curiosity about, the untimely end. Like, man, that's a real shame, and see if they have anything to say about it.
A bit weird just to call up someone. I mean, I assume they're friends. Like, call up someone's friend and just talk about their dead friend.
Maybe, but maybe we're just interested in poetry.
I guess.
I'm
God damn it. Snaps isn't here.
really into poetry. I'm not.
I mean, maybe it'd be one thing if there was like an event we could go to, like if there's like
Not really.
kind of poetry meeting. There might be.
Yeah.
I look if there's an event.
You guys are skilled at your jobs, and you guys know various people in Odemesh. It's not out of the question that one of you guys might have an informant. And the nature of our storytelling is such loose that if you guys wish to just say that, if you guys as players think your characters would have a resource, and it's within reason, I'm sure we can accommodate on it. Especially Frog. Like Frog
Yeah,
is
I
like
was
this
just
is
thinking that.
her deal.
Yeah.
So like I
Yeah.
think Frog might have an info broker that she can see if she wants to find out where someone is. So or like where they live or where that she could meet someone.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if you want to like just kind of run into one of the suspects or one of the people. I'm sure you could arrange that Frog,
I mean,
very
Talk to
easily.
Who knows? Maybe they have a book club.
Yeah. Let's I think I know someone we can ask about to see if they have a book club, or maybe we can have a meeting with this publisher and talk about it.
Sure.
All right. So Frog, you get in contact with your source.
Yeah, so my source is kind of an associate, but they're more in it for the money as opposed to like loyalty to they're mostly here for just like keeping tabs on the city.
I imagine that they're a pawn shop worker. Like they run they manage a pawn shop. They don't own it. But you come in.
Are you gonna give us the Greedo voice, or not Greedo?
Yes.
That's the voice I was thinking of.
Yes, welcome. No, it's not.
Greedo's the wrong character. What is Sebul? No, what's his name? It's not Sebulba.
Isn't it Sebulba?
No, Sebulba's
Sebulba's the pod racer.
Yeah, Sebulba's the pod racer. I can never remember Watto.
Watto. There we were looking for Watto.
Yeah, there we go. We got there.
Okay.
He's welcome. No, he's a pod.
He's a pod racer.
He's a pod racer.
We have pod racing now.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
how's it going?
he's a pawn shop worker, and he sees you come in, and his eyes go wide. His eyes go wide, and he looks like a deer caught in headlights, and he's like, "Can I get? What are you doing here, Frog?
Hey, need some
Do I
just...
need a?
No, it's cool. We're just here for information. You know,
Wait, are you going
okay.
on your own? Or are you bringing
probably bring
Malmira with you?
Yeah.
I shop.
go browse.
Yeah, it's a general pawn shop.
Yeah.
There's just mainly jewelry, some various like weird things like an auto steam harvester and stuff like that, just randomly about.
Go.
There's
go
parts
look
for
at
a
some
pod
stuff.
racer.
Yeah. We'll take care of business here
Is
at the
there a
counter.
kid for sale too?
Yeah, there's a kid for sale on the back. What can I help you with?
We're just
Look, I don't want any trouble today,
no,
Frog.
no, just here for some info. Nothing big.
All right.
We're looking for to run into a specific person, a publisher, but did an article about a famous poet a while back. And I'll I can't remember the name, but
yeah, you got the name of the publisher. I can probably look into it. It doesn't matter the name of the publisher. I'll just come with something.
Just like
you slide over a piece of paper.
Just looking to ask them some questions or something.
I see. Yeah, I can look into it. I don't even want to know what you're up to, Frog.
It's better that way.
Hey, look, I know that information I gave was bad. I really hope that she didn't take it the wrong way. You gotta know, like, it's bad business if she's mad at me.
It's bad business for us all if she's mad at us, yeah.
Okay.
So, let's do our best to keep on our good side.
All right. He's stealing glances at Malmira because he came in together.
Oh, that's just my work associate.
I see. All right. Well, I'll do some digging. Just wait here for a little bit, okay?
Mind if we look around?
Yeah. By all means. It's only be a moment.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, he comes back. He gives you information. Basically, he gives you the name of the publishing head and a basic breakdown of an org chart. But he says that the person that actually did the publishing of the book is going to be Osman Irma. Yeah, Osman Irma he's a publisher. It looks like they worked together on old Ilthos.
Whatever that was called.
Did publish a few things.
Yeah.
Otha is the victim.
Yeah.
So Osman seems to have championed the piece and published it, despite the fact that she wasn't a very well-known poet. Is that it? That we good?
Do you know where we can find
his office? His office is here, and he kind of gives you the address. He lives here, and he has a kid that goes to school here.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
All right, and just put in a good word.
I'll
even gonna charge you.
No,
Frog.
I
just
appreciate
please
that.
don't cut my toes off.
I promise not to do that this time.
Okay.
All right, but I will pass up the good word that you. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Good. And I see you looking at that auto harvester. Are you interested in making a purchase at all? No? Okay. That's fine.
This is an auto harvester?
Yes. It's
I thought it was a back scratcher or something. My bad.
It scratches the back of corn very well, yes.
You looking to buy Malmira?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, we're about done here with our business.
You don't know about?
All right. Well, you fellows have a good day. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Okay. You leave the pawn shop.
Yeah.
And I assume you guys move on to whatever. Yeah. You want to rope in Snap into this?
Yeah. We'll see if we can meet up with Snaps.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys know where the seminars are.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to Osman Irma's. What do you want to go to? His house, his office, his kids' school.
Okay.
I don't know how creepy you want to be here.
I just want to go to his office. Yeah.
While we go pick up Fern, it's an adventuring thing, so I'm going to see if any of the people there knew about the turtle dude. The turtle. Because he was an adventurer, right? He was a retired adventurer. And it's an adventuring
Wait, so you're going to ask about this old retired adventurer who died about a year ago?
Just see if
maybe he was a legend.
Maybe see if he was well known at all.
I don't think
he actually died in the second year, so he died 4 years ago.
Okay, was he a well-known adventurer?
Yeah, it's sort of one of the things you need a DC 15 to kind of roughly how rare it would be to know his name, but he was well known in his time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make a general charisma roll,
yeah, while you're picking her up.
Yeah, see if people know
picking
about
me up. Hi, Dad. Hi, other Dad.
I got a natural 20.
He did indeed roll a natural 20.
Okay. As you're sort of swinging by the where's this place? It's being held in a cultural center. Yeah, it's a cultural center that it's like historic district cultural center that's set up with like various rooms and stuff, and it looks like so while you're going in there, you want to pull aside someone random, or do you want to ask Fern, or do you want to like
I just pull aside
Okay.
someone.
yeah some random you're asking about boys. Oh, boys was the best.
Oh yeah. Tell me about him.
Oh man, the old V, they used to call him. His name is Vothirma, last name.
Wait, how does he get the nickname Boys?
His first name, Boys.
Oh, I see.
Oh, legend of his time. He pioneered so many different things. He was alive back when the last arcane resurgence was mucking about. He pioneered so many. He led like 2 mercenary groups. His first one, most of them died, and he started a second one. And then after that, he got in with the Hilkar family, and the Malts. Oh, they respected the shit out of him. He's naming. You would know this. They're like historic, rich families in the Odmesh region. They have like private mining. They have private mines and stuff like that. But they hired adventurers to help protect those mines.
So in some capacity, he's probably involved with the predecessor to the SRC.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds like a pretty swell guy.
Yeah.
Is he known for like anything in particular? Like maybe he like did he find anything crazy?
He pioneered the Volthra maneuver. It's where you bring your shield next to your chest, and then you have your Goliath friend and your Minotaur friend grab you by your legs and use you like a mace. It's super good, super effective in closed environments, and very, very ineffective in a field.
What?
I can show you. Hey, and he brings over 2 of his friends.
And this is how Malmira gets roped into a demonstration. Snap sits there very excitedly taking very intense notes.
And then Malmira probably
shit.
gets hold of the conversation and steers it back. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, like so like so like do you know anything about do you have anyone who he ever upset anyone really poorly? Like did you ever like find anything that anyone really wanted?
I don't think so. But the old boys, he went down. Someone did him dirty. He was old.
Mm-hmm.
He was old. He died when he was like 90 something. I put the wrong name age on it because I forgot he was a turtle.
90's not that old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have been old enough for the time frame that you're talking about. You said he was around during the last arcane resurgence. So he'd have to be at least 150.
Yeah.
No. There was a second one in the middle. Remember?
Oh, you're right. They were 75 years. I doubled it.
He'd be 92 or 93. Someone did him dirty. He was in prime of his middle age. Got taken out. I don't know. In terms of, I happened to be in his fan club at the time when he went missing. He was gone for about a year before he turned up here in Odmesh.
Oh, really?
The guy lived in Cardinal for a bit, but we couldn't find him for a year. We thought that he was doing something amazing, Yeah. Maybe he got on a private contract coming out of retirement.
Oh.
It was super great. We had our eyes on him and a lot of other famed adventurers, but I couldn't believe it when he showed up. But of all people, you would think that one of the greatest fighters of our generation taken out like that.
It's a real shame.
It is a real shame.
Wait, so he wasn't even from here? I always heard that I thought he wasn't moved here.
He has a house here and a village here, yes, but he was staying in Cardinal for most of his middle age.
Oh, I didn't know that. I always thought that he was from here. It's part of the reason that
and then he was gone for a year. We assumed that he was probably out and about doing stuff, but I don't know.
I think
no one even knew he was here until he showed up.
No, not until his body showed up.
That's wild.
Knowing adventurers, he probably got a real secret contract or some sort of mission. I don't know. No other information's come out, and we looked. Trust me, we looked. Ain't that right, Phil? Yeah, we looked.
Man, so it's like this whole conspiracy almost.
You know what
not,
boys
not
always
like a quite,
said?
not
The
like
most
quite a
obvious
conspiracy.
one is the most obvious problems can be solved with an axe. I don't know what it means, but I think that applies here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will a rapier do?
I don't know. He said axe. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Where
So just to double check that, like,
axe work?
Yeah. So, out of character. Go ahead. I
but
don't know if I
like
answered
out
your
of
question.
character, like the dossiers that we would have read didn't mention anything.
No, it didn't mention
about
anything
this.
about him
Him being
having
missing a
potentially being
year?
on a contract or anything like that. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. He could have been involved in something that had brought him here,
Mhm.
or the other alternative is he had been in Cardinal and they took him from Cardinal to
Yeah. Those-
kill him
yeah,
here.
both of them are kind of crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
options
Yeah.
are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
let's jump forward to you guys going over to the publishers. I don't have a name for the publishers though. Someone want to pitch something?
Rod Rodlin.
Right.
Not his name. I'm talking about the publishing company. I was thinking like
Rod House Publishing.
I like that.
All right.
Run by Rod Rodlin.
Rod House Publishing.
This is the Rod House.
Large flightless bird.
Rod.
Large flightless bird publishing.
Yeah, it's Rod House Publishing. I like that.
Okay.
Run by Rod Rodson.
Roderick von Rodling.
I like that one even better. I'm going with that one.
Yeah, I like Roderick
All right.
von Rodling. It's a good name.
Okay.
Run by Roderick von Rodling at your service. CEO of Rod House Publishing. How may
Yeah.
I assist you today?
So you go to one of the editors. You just come into the publishing
Yeah,
house?
I
It's a real
have
informal affair.
I have a cover, I guess. So I kind of come in and I'm just kind of like, hi, how's it going?
Hello.
Hi, sorry,
How can I help you? I'm sorry, I'm trying to voice.
That's
How
okay.
can I help you? Sir?
the name's Malmira. I'm a bit of an amateur poet, as it were. I was wondering if
Okay.
you could go over some of my work and like. I'm not necessarily trying to get published right here and right now, but I just like try to get some critiques, you know.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, and you see, this is the sort of like a cubicle area of where of the publishing bullpen.
When you
Almost.
just walked into the bullpen instead of talking to the secretary?
Like I said, it's an informal affair. They don't have a
Okay.
secretary.
Oh, okay.
It's actually like a second floor. It's like it's above like a. I like this aesthetic. It's above a textile place,
Like a print shop?
Oh, do I need to roll a fucking deception check for this, by the
Yeah,
way?
hold on, yeah, I will ask for that. But it's above a textile like shop. So yeah, I like printing. Like it's some sort of like mass produced printing and binding shop, and it's right above it. And it's like a bullpen area with like a couple of offices and a meeting room. He says, hello, yeah, my name's Osmond Irma, and he shakes your hand. And
Oh, they're just some friends that
Oh,
moral
we're here to
support.
moral support. I
Yeah.
get it entirely. So yeah, I can totally help. Let's go to the conference room. Make sure none of this comes in. You brought in go ahead and roll your deception.
Another nat one.
I mean, we're supporting him. We're supporting him, which means it should give him advantage.
I will allow the help action to be taken.
Of anyone to be rolling a nat one, it's not Albert.
This is his second nat one this session.
That's not great. But
It's
it's not
better.
a one.
It's not a one.
It's not a one.
Where's my character sheet? I
God
accidentally
dang.
closed it like a fucking moron.
See, why are we the only ones who are lucky?
I don't fucking know.
Because we're halflings, so we have luck. So we can't roll ones.
I get it.
Fuck. Hold on. I'm an idiot and I accidentally closed my character.
Cue the let's
Alright.
let's look up the rules interlude.
Deception.
All right, hold on.
That is-
What do we think? Oh wait, hold on. Albert rolled a 1. I have a better meme for it.
Deception will be
It's not gonna happen.
12.
12?
I broke it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I guess
Hold on.
I
You got a natural 1.
I have a few like poems just like pre-written, like I wrote on the way here.
Okay.
Do you
What?
want me to roll for them, or like do we want to
No,
just say
you
they're
as a
kind
character
of
has
bad?
come them.
No, I think having
not
him
coming.
roll. I feel like having him roll charisma checks to write poetry.
I don't know if charisma's the.
Charisma's definitely poetry is definitely governed by
It
charisma.
would be
Okay.
performance or something.
Oh, it could be
performance
performance.
pulls
Performance is
not
also
bad.
charisma.
If you have performance, I'll allow that.
I don't have performance.
Then it's a charisma check. Let's go. Unless you want to use like wisdom, in which case you could do something funky. But I think charisma is the way to
9.
Well, I feel okay.
go. Okay, they're real shitty.
They're not. That's not that shitty. They're like on the slightly shittier end of average.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
not
job.
publishing material.
Clearly not publishing material.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there once was a dwarf from Nantucket, and the person just looks up and is like, "What the fuck is
Yeah.
Nantucket?"
Okay. Yeah. So come into the conference room and we can have this talk. You guys get into the conference room. You guys sit down. He says, and he looks over the. I guess you give it to him.
Yeah.
He looks it over and he says, "Oh yes." See on his face. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
As we're doing this, Snaps is sitting here also writing poetry. I don't care if anyone actually sees it, but for the record, I rolled a 14 on my -1 charisma check to write poetry.
It's better than Malmira's.
Yes.
Yeah. He looks over it and he kind of like says, "Okay." Looking in the eyes, those with higher than 11 passive insight see, which is not Brandon. Everybody but Brandon sees that he's kind of having a bad response to it. I think you have potential.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Do I sense that he's lying?
Yeah, you do. You and Malmira sense he's lying.
I have a very poor insight.
What is your passive
14.
insight?
Both
No.
of you are. 14
Oh, insight's
passive-
wisdom. Sorry.
Yeah, both of you are 14
Okay.
passive
Yeah.
insight.
Oh yeah, that's really good to know. You know, like what's the. You know, like I heard that. What was the poet's name? Was Tapman?
Last name Potman, first name Otha.
Ultha Potman. Yeah. Okay. So like, I was really inspired by Ultha Potman. I read her story. You know, it was really
Yeah.
tragic what happened to her, but I was really inspired that she didn't really know anyone in the industry, and yet she was still able to make such a big impact.
Yeah.
On the world around her.
Otha Potman was an inspiration to us all, and I felt that her work deserved to see the light of day. Nothing could have such an early time to go. So much time.
I just can't imagine why anyone would want to do something like that to her. You know,
Yeah.
understand what I mean?
I can't believe it either. He takes off his glasses and he folds it and he puts it on the table and he says, and he's a bit emotional about it, and he says, "Yeah, it's something I ask myself quite often. Such a brutal person. Like, what does someone have to go through to get there, you know?" And I feel like Otha Potman's poetry brings a bit of light just into the light that was extinguished, and the fact that she was such a burning flame before that definitely deserves to be her story to be told, if you know what I mean. I'm an editor. I'm not a poet myself, if that's not obvious. Yeah. But your fans,
were you one of the people who helped publish her work?
before she passed away, if that's the word to use, I wasn't her editor, but I did. She proposed a few things, but nothing really got past the initial bout. She self-published a few things, namely for her church. But then but before that, she had a few pieces. None of them were really good, but surprisingly, once her family went through her belongings, they found a whole document, a whole bundle of other poetry that she never brought to us. Her mother brought in the poetry and asked that we look over it, and I was inspired. All the poetry about the moon and the stars and the moving of the spirits, the mere symbology of everything really caught my eye, and I felt that it deserved to be published, and I championed it in the bullpen, and Rodhouse latched onto it. But
Has it
been published yet? This is out of character.
Oh,
Ask if it's been published.
It got published last month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like very recent.
Does that mean that there's more of her work floating around with the church that you said that she published with?
Yeah, actually, she does have quite a few pieces that didn't make the final cut for the anthology. Are you guys reporters there?
No, again,
No.
we're they're
I also
here as
know-
my morals. I'm just gonna cast Charm Person on him now.
Okay.
I'm casting Charm Person on him.
All right.
He's got to make a Wisdom save.
Actually, hold on. Roll me a D4 odd or no, yeah, D4. If you roll a 1, you're in a null zone. Just because I just didn't say 3. You're good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to make a DC.
She's asking like where she can get
DC
more,
14,
more
yeah.
of her work.
Yeah. DC what?
DC 14 Wisdom save.
Rolled a nat 5, and this guy probably only has a +1 at best.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just like charm,
Yeah.
and I'm just like I'm just like a really, again, I'm just like a really big fan. Her work has really inspired my own. So it would just be really great. Like I just love to read it.
Yeah. You know what? Because actually tearing up a lot. He says, "I understand. Her work definitely brought me to tears very often, and I wanted so many more of those pieces to get in the anthology, but editor wouldn't have it. But tell you what, I can give you a few documents, but you gotta promise you won't let it out and that stuff. She published a lot, and a lot of them were, I think, at the request of her pastor or something. And he has a few of them. And
What happened to his name? Would you?
someone from the Primordial Truth. I can't really remember. He refused to give us any of the ones he had. But I know that a lot of the poems are incomplete sets. That I think that he has a few of them. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but her untimely death has definitely brought brought members of her congregation to their knees. It's a real sad tale.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I can get you those documents right away. But
I swear.
Circling back to
I swear I won't show anyone. It's just for myself.
Yeah. Circling back to your piece though, as a friend, it's not the best.
Ouch.
Wow.
Your use of prose is very lacking, and the content. You mentioned chalk, and I just feel like chalk is not a good image to pair with flowers.
Wow. That.
I just want to say,
Would you mind critiquing a poem that I've written?
sure, I'll take a look at it.
This is the one that I rolled a 14 on, and I'm gonna read it to you real
Okay.
fast.
Yeah.
So, roses are red, violets are blue. Malmira's a moron. How about you?
He actually laughs. He says,
Ow.
All right.
He has a real ugly
Wow.
laugh.
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
No,
I'm just teasing you.
It's I'll get you those documents right away.
All right.
I have them in my filing piece. It's fine. And he leaves the room for a bit.
I assume nothing bad happens to him.
I'm just wondering if you guys
Okay.
want to RP or
Okay,
play in
sure.
the space a bit.
What do we do now? You charmed him.
Oh, he's just we'll come back with it, and we're just gonna leave before the spell ends.
Does he know that he's been charmed? I don't remember how a charmed person works.
Yeah, he will know when it's
He knows.
when it's over.
Oh,
But we're just gonna have to. I mean, I feel like this is worth it.
He knows your first name, maybe.
Uh,
Like you said
Also,
it,
Malmira is
but
probably a pseudonym that you've come up with, right? Is that your real name?
I mean,
it's the only name I use.
they don't know that it's. a
Also,
real
I'm
name.
kind of a very distinctive person. It's kind of part of the character.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, the two of us are pretty nondescript, and he doesn't have either of our names. We're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
halflings.
We'll cross the bridge when we get there.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right.
We're gonna get the poetry and leave. We're
gonna,
done.
yeah.
I'm sensing a little bit like there's not too much of a pattern. Like I get that there's the
I mean,
primordial truth.
the Church of Primordial Truth has come up like 3 times now.
I think it's just twice.
Is it twice?
It's the bishop and then
bishop. This. I feel like it came up somewhere else too.
Oh, with the turtle dude who I can't remember the name of.
Yes.
Oh,
He did some work for them too.
Did he?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm not misremembering that.
I can't remember what I said. I'm sorry.
I don't remember that part.
I don't remember it either. I remember that he was involved in a lot of stuff in a lot of families. He was also here on a secret contract. I'm willing to bet that it was probably involved maybe somehow. I want to check into the poetry from the church because I have a strong suspicion that the poetry that was published under her name isn't hers. If all of a sudden the writing style changed to the point where the poetry was like way better and she never turned any of it in, I'm wondering if maybe it was something else.
I see. Someone might be putting words into her mouth, eh?
I don't know. It's worth a shot. It's just a hunch. It could just be that maybe that was her private poetry, and she just didn't want to give it to anybody else. But it's worth a shot to analyze the writing styles.
We can always go talk to the pastor.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think either way, like I think our trail is leading towards that pastor anyway. So like,
it would give a reason as to why the bishop would want to make sure that this case stays closed.
Was he involved?
The one on
both of Potman
the
Bishop Matilda Taproot.
Yeah.
She's
She's on the homicide. And she,
Well, I didn't realize that she was the bishop of the church.
Yeah, she's a bishop. I don't know how many bishops.
Yeah,
but
You guys do have the document. You know that there's like 4 bishops and there's one head pastor.
Okay.
And he has the title of pastor.
Cool. I think that's all that we're doing here then.
So I got the documents and that you wanted. Here you go. And he has like a journal that he says, I would request that you bring the journal back in ideal condition. You guys are like welcome to like copy a few things, but please just make sure it doesn't circulate. Just because the Rod House does have copyright over all of these pieces of work.
Of course, sure thing. We'll bring them back right away.
All right, good. Yeah, keep working on the art. I'm sure it'll get better.
All right.
And he kind of cringes, and because the charm person works like he has to do everything you say, right? Right? I don't.
He
regards
he's his
him
friend.
as a friend.
He regards me as a very close friend.
Yeah. It can get better. He thinks about it.
Okay. So I really appreciate it. I'm gonna spend some time reading this over. Again, really, thank you so much. I'll bring it back to you as soon as I can. You won't even notice it's missing.
All right, that's fine.
Take it. I just step outside. I'm just going to copy down as much of it. Like just copy it down
That's
as quickly
a lot
as I
of
can.
works. It's like a journal notebook with a lot of like loose leaf papers kind of jammed in there.
Can I take a look at as many as it would take me 1 to 2 minutes to just read through?
Like skim through it.
Yeah, and just try and like that. That's as much
Retain.
as I think we would need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let me double check how long Charm Person lasts.
Give me an intelligence check to kind of like skim and absorb and osmosis all the information you can.
Well, I mean, how long do we have?
Charm Person is.
So we have an hour. You could easily write down 5 poems, unless these are like long. In which case, I'd only need like one.
Duration's an hour.
Yeah.
Is that an hour?
Yeah, duration's an hour. I have it pulled up on my phone.
Yeah, it's 1 hour. So yeah, we have like an hour.
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Specifically, what I'm looking for is enough to use Master of Intrigue on, so I can mimic the speech patterns and accent of a creature you hear speak, or I mean, it makes sense that if it's this person writing it for at least 1 minute, I could pass off as a speaker of the particular land, or in this case, pass off as someone with the mindset or themes of this poetry. Okay. I'm thinking if we bring it to this pastor's attention as like a trump card and say, hey, we have some of our work that was never published. Did you want to take a look and see if he like reacts to it?
Oh, and you can copy it, eh?
It's an original piece by her.
Oh, so you're gonna forge some shit.
I'm also proficient in the forgery tools.
Yeah, okay. I like that. How long does it take to activate?
I'm kind of like gooeying this rule because it's mostly I hear someone talk and I take on their accent for a minute, which is why if I read maybe
All right.
like,
So in this case, you
a
have to
minute or two's-
understand the poetry, which
Yeah.
I believe
I
is.
think-
I think there's a skill we can tie to this.
yeah, if we can, I mean, if we write it down word for word, I can just like then read it on my off
Yeah.
time. And
I mean, also like you have an hour. Like
Yeah, we
while
got plenty of
Malmira's
time.
copying, you like read over and you read more than he can copy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, if you want to do that, I feel like there's a check that can facilitate this.
okay.
You're looking just for an up or down 10.
Oh, I feel like this is covered under his skill, though.
The biggest thing is that that's based off of like the understanding of poetry, and poetry is not as straightforward as
yeah,
like,
it's
a
not
manifesto.
quite a spoken language.
To be
Yeah.
fair, though, it says you can mimic the speech
Yeah.
pattern and accent of a creature you hear speak for at least 1 minute. So he's reading it for longer than a minute.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just mimicking the speech patterns, is all it is.
Or writing style, rather.
Writing
Yeah.
style, yeah.
I'm wondering if I could do that.
Okay, well, if it's just the writing style, I feel like that's a given. I think the biggest thing is that what I was thinking of is what it meant of like getting in the headspace
Yeah,
of
Mhm.
I think we
author.
still
Yeah.
need to make that intelligence roll
Yeah,
separate.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
mimic the style just
Okay.
offhand, but I just kind of wanted to give you a bit more in terms of like understanding the mindset of the author, as well
okay.
as like give you guys a brief breakdown of what the poetry is about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of it has allusions to spirits
Mhm.
and about the primordial truth of like what truth is, and they analogize. It seems like most of the pieces are about substituting like celestial bodies with various entities, including the moon. Seems to be some sort of entity of like faith and hope that she's trying to like convey through these various ambiguous terms, and very like open about what it means to have this sort of like devotion, so on and so forth. Yeah.
Are the pieces that are in this, are they all from the books that her mother brought forward, or are any of them some of the old ones she brought as well?
It looks like most of it's inside of the books she brought forward. It looks like there's because like I said, it's a notebook with a lot of like loose leaf papers jammed in.
Yeah.
There's like napkins and various pieces. It looked like it was written somewhere else, and then she brought it and compiled it inside this notebook. And it doesn't look like anything like really official typed out or anything. It's all handwritten, same handwriting throughout all of it.
Okay.
Actually, if you do want to compare it to one, I guess I will just say that she did give you some of her older work too.
I mean, we would have also read her older work in the library,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
Or we
like
could go to the library again.
Yeah, well, her older work in the handwriting looks similar. Like it looks the same. It doesn't look like it's forged or anything. And if it is forgery work, they'd have to have reproduced a lot of documents. Like this is an entire journal.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very unlikely that it's a forgery or someone with very, very similar handwriting.
Can we still make like an intelligence check to like try to find like a tonal change?
Yeah.
I think one of you guys should do it.
Is this like
Is it
investigation?
intelligence, or is it what kind of a
Oh,
check?
I guess
is this?
insight.
It would be an insight check because it's about about.
Yeah, my insight's pretty good.
Mine's kind of
It's
garbo.
also, it's also through text. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a bit harder. So I'm gonna set the DC a bit higher.
Are we both rolling?
Yeah, you
or
roll
okay.
manually.
I got a 12.
18.
Don, you got it.
Nice.
In my head, it was 17.
Nice.
To understand it.
Nailed
So it feels like a lot of the works that she was presenting to the she was presenting to the publishing Rodhouse Publishing. It was stuff that happened. It seems to be more ambiguous and more loose, and definitely feels that she's more passionate about the concepts when it comes to the primordial truth. So that's why it feels like it's a bit more powerful. But as you're reading through it, it definitely feels like as time grew on, different pieces and segments evolve over time, and it looks like the way they have it ordered inside of the journal is different from the way it's sorted when you guys looked over the brief of the official published works. One in the journal is more chronological, whereas the other one's more like topic oriented organization, and it kind of does paint the tale of someone that got into a new church and got real into it over time.
Someone like being indoctrinated into a
Yeah,
cult.
I don't want to use the word cult because it's not.
It's clearly not a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's definitely someone who is new to the faith and new
Yeah,
to
she
the,
bought in real
Has
hard.
become very
Yeah.
passionate
Yeah,
about
I'm
it.
very
Okay.
passionate about it. The journal displays it rather clearly, but it's very subtle, and a lot of the terminology is still to say the same, but it's very obvious that the emotions behind the poems change over time.
Okay, and
From,
all
like,
the ones that were officially published were religious ones.
Not all of them. They're
Okay.
It's kind of, you don't have an hour to like parse through all of this.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm asking the ones that had been published in the anthology that we'd already read, just for clarity's sake.
Yeah, they're not all the ones in anthology are not overtly religious. They're sort of like beautiful poems about
Yeah.
celestial
Okay.
bodies and emotions. And more
But
ambiguous.
but she wrote a lot of religious ones that would not be put, that were not
Yeah.
put in the
Does-
anthology.
Yeah.
Okay.
The imagery. Does the information in the new poems add new information in the ones that were in the book? Because like,
Yeah.
if it's like if she keeps using the same imagery, but the symbolism is kind of lost because some of the poems were taken out, does that add a lot of meaning to
I
her
think-
original intent for the published
I think
stuff?
it does, and a lot of it has to do with just sort of like her about sort of like the seeking of the truth. Like whereas before, without the lens of seeing the religious aspect of it, it could have read more along the lines of being passionate and persevering and general ambiguous, like, you know, everyone goes through heartbreak, everyone goes through
Yeah.
these problems, you have to persevere, and there's some things that are greater than us that we have to aspire to
Yeah.
be. Whereas if you view it through the religious lens, it's like it can be more seen along the lines of, like, to put it in our world terms, you know, like if we find the reason why behind all this, God can help, and so on and so forth. But it just puts a different lens in terms of like where that truth is. It definitely analogizes more into like the spirits can be called on to help us.
Yeah. So, when we're done, as we're coming up to the end point of when the spell is going to end, I am going to write a very polite note apologizing for casting the spell, being like, I'm not sharing this with anyone. I just really wanted to look at these poems. I swear I wasn't lying.
Thank you very
not.
much.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to share this with anyone.
I panicked.
I panicked. I'm sorry.
Yes, nothing's more honest than a note saying I'm not lying.
I mean, at least you left a note
Yeah,
and brought it back.
And I just open the door, throw the gently slide the journal in,
Yeah.
close it, and we run.
Yeah, you see him, his eyes open up. He's like, Malmira, hey! Then close door, take off. Yeah, so you guys have a lot of additional things to do. You guys, it's later in the evening. It's probably like around like 6 p.m.-ish. You guys are getting ready to do other stuff. In this time, you guys do get a confirmation, a message spell from an unknown person. You don't know this voice. And he says, hello, my name is Roderick, and I am told to send you a message to meet in the White Rose Inn in 2 hours.
Okay.
All right.
And that comes to... It comes to Malmira mainly because that's the only... No, actually, it would come to Fern. It would come to Fern because I think you made an impression on old Theodore. Yeah, it would come to Fern. You can reply to this message. Tell us if it's inadvisable. If not, please show up.
You have like 6 words to respond or something?
Yeah, I think, is it 6?
I thought the response was vastly truncated.
I think it's the same.
It's 24.
Was it the
It's
full?
25 for the initial spell. I don't know what the response is.
I'm
I think
pretty
it might
sure
be.
it's basically just a tweet.
Yeah, it's essentially a tweet. Yeah,
Her response is understood. We'll meet you then. We'll be there then.
okay. Heart emoji.
Yeah, heart emoji.
Heart emoji.
Heart emoji, rat emoji, heart emoji.
I want to see the rat emoji now.
I'm sure
It's a
there is
really
one, yeah.
cute. It's a really cute rat emoji.
Yes. So with that, you guys have new information under your belt, and you have a meeting set up with
Presumably Theodore.
with Theodore, as well as, well, this is probably him reaching out in order to have you meet Lorraine Hobson, the Oadmesh
Yeah.
homicide investigator.
And then 2 hours after that is our meeting with the other dude,
Hector Oathmaker.
Oathmaker.
Yeah.
I keep mixing up if it's Oathmaker or Oathbreaker.
Yeah,
It's not breaker. It's either maker or keeper.
It's Oathmaker.
It's Oathmaker,
Well,
yeah.
now I'm gonna get confused between the 3.
Yeah.
Alright.
And that's
2
where we're
hours,
gonna end
eh?
that's where we're gonna end today's episode.
Real